Coming to you from high atop our studios in the San Francisco Bay Area, you're watching TechMove. This is episode 55. In today's show, Blackmagic designs Ursa Cine 12K LF. That's what we're going to be looking at. We're also going to be talking about new products from DJI, including the Focus Pro, as well as the DJI RS4 Pro Gimbal. And get this, we're actually going to be covering NAB 2024. You heard it right, folks. In 2025, we're covering last year's event. This is going to be fantastic. Why? Because we've got interviews that we haven't even showed you guys. So we're going to show you that today. I'm Rod Louie, and with me is Keith Moreau. Get ready for another exciting episode of TechMove. Let's go! Welcome to TechMove, ladies and gentlemen. It has been so long. It's Rod Louie here, along with the great Keith Moreau. Keith, hello. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm pretty good, Rod. How are you? It's early.
It is early, and I appreciate you being able to jump on here with me at this time. I'm grateful that I at least have a little bit of daylight behind me, because I thought it was... when I first fired up the system, I thought it was still nighttime. So it's great that you're here. You know, and everybody out in TechMove land, we want to thank you for joining us. It has been a little while since we have put on an episode. Well, I will tell you this, folks, that Keith and I are ramping up to at least get you another episode once every quarter would be a good and that's being ambitious. I'll tell you that much.
I was going to say once a year, but
yeah, no, you know, and that is fantastic. But it's great to be with you. Happy New Year. It's 2025 right now, but we've got a fantastic show for you today, ladies and gentlemen, because on the eve, it really is the eve, right, Keith, about NAB 2025. I think we're looking at NAB in like just a week or so.
NAB actually starts this Sunday.
This Sunday, which will be what date is that? That is
the 6th.
April 6th. So at the time of this recording, we're looking at a few days from right now where NAB 2025 begins.
Yes.
But you know what's so great about the TechMove nation and the TechMove world is that anything Keith and I produce, we're going to throw it out to you anyway. We don't care how old it is. We don't care when we recorded it. If we recorded back in the 1860s, we're going to be throwing it your way. And this is one of those shows. So we're very happy that you joined us, ladies and gentlemen. Keith, I think you've got some footage of something very exciting. And maybe we'd like to, is that what we want to do? You know, our production value is so high here at TechMove that we want to just show you some fantastic footage that Keith has obtained. He's had it in the vaults, and it's something that we want to share with you.
Yeah. So I'm just going to start playing it.
Wow. Look at, okay, so this is 2024, ladies and gentlemen. This is fantastic. Yeah. Look at the throngs of people there. And what I really love is that Keith is going to endure this yet again in a few days' time. Yeah. So look at this. Look at this stampede of people. Keith, you must be excited about what you have in store for the next in the next few days here.
I am, although to be honest with you, I'm not going to be at this level of stampede. And that's because I'm actually flying out on Sunday, and so I'm going to get there kind of after the show closes. So I think it's kind of cool to be there at show opening, but it's not necessary. And in a lot of cases, I haven't been there at the show opening. It would be different if we were like a live, maybe like next year's live TechMove. We could do some live stuff, experiment with that. That'd be kind of interesting. But
that would be interesting. Some sort of satellite transmission would be fantastic.
There's a bunch of satellite trucks in the parking lot, so I'll just plug my camera into there.
Just get your spot welder and start tapping into everybody else's signal. I'll be
cutting their main video signal and putting mine in.
So we can put up the TechMove podcast signal.
Like what's that group that wears the mask and that intercepts broadcasts and does like Anonymous, right? The group have you seen that?
I have not. That's for the young kids. I don't follow that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Well, it's all right. Sometimes Anonymous will like say we're going to shut down the internet in 10 days.
Oh, right. Yes. Those hackers, hacker kind of guys. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm going to call some of those guys. They're my buddies. We'll be hacking into the NAB feed. Be taking over NAB. But not this year. This year I'm just going to go as a normal press.
Well, you know what we got to have you do is we got to have you scout the areas to find out where those trucks actually are, and
they're all
where
over.
Those, and where the cables are that you can actually tap into. That's great.
Them. Hopefully they'll be parked in the same parking spaces.
I'm looking forward to the interviews that you're going to be able to secure for us for the 2025 NAB. But what's really exciting is that before you even do that, we have this little episode for you, folks, where we're going to be sharing with you some of the interviews that are all kidding aside. A lot of these interviews are still very relevant today, even let's be real, 12 months away from when they were conducted. But they're still really good. They're still very interesting, and we'll try and tie it in as best as we can in this video. Yeah, as something that we think you're going to find very interesting if you've been a longtime TechMove listener and now watcher. So we're excited about this. I think this is going to be great. I don't know what happened to my camera right there, but it just seemed to have zoomed in on me and then pulled back out. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the what do they call that? Live. There's some term that Apple uses for that. Live stage or stage.
Center stage.
Center stage.
Center stage.
When you move around. But I think it just forgot you were a person and then resumed in.
It thought that my family of 12 was behind me and wanted to widen the scope.
So
but anyway, yes.
So that shot you just saw, so that was actually my X3. And I had just dropped the X3 like a couple days before. So you might notice that there's like a little lens flare or smudge, like the lens is dirty. It's actually the lens is a little bit damaged at that one point. So
have you fixed it since, or did you just get rid of the camera?
I just kept it and I sold it. And I said to the person I sold it to, I put it on eBay. I pretty much put all my stuff in eBay. I just said, one of the lenses cracked, the other one's perfect. But when I was doing it, I forgot which side it was on, so I should have faced it towards the good side. But it's really cool because I have this long selfie pole, and then I have a tripod on the bottom in case I want to set it down. So if I extend everything, I'm up like 20 feet.
Yeah, is that the Insta360 like magic pole or something like that?
It's their 10-foot version that I use. Yeah, and it's funny because it goes really really long. Yeah, and it's long enough to hide the pole, right? So because so if it's extended further, you can't really see the pole. You just see it going to nowhere, like normal. But it's cool because I just walk through the show like this, and people are going, "Wow, you look!" I'm holding this there's like $100,000 cameras and rigs and stuff all over the place, and then everybody's going, "Wow, look at that!" While I walk around like an idiot with this 20-foot thing going through the whole show. But
that's great. That's awesome.
Anyway, yeah. So that was that. I was thinking maybe we just talk a little bit about what we might see at this NAB.
And I think the 2025 NAB.
Yes, this upcoming NAB.
Sure.
So I think NAB is not quite as, I'm not going to say quite as exciting, but it's not. It used to be NAB like everybody announced all their new stuff at NAB because it's like a worldwide show where everybody comes from all over the world. And I think that since maybe even before COVID, well, I think COVID, because all the shows stopped during COVID for a couple of years, like two years maybe. And I think it's a lot of the manufacturers is, you know what, why don't we just release stuff on our own time instead of having to rush and make ourselves crazy for this April date.
Right.
So now they just release whenever.
Kind of like Apple's AI, the Apple Intelligence, right?
I turned that off.
Right.
I just turned that off immediately.
I don't think it works anyway.
No,
so.
All it does is slow your computer down. I had it on my stuff, and I was noticing when I was typing text more than like one sentence, they would start getting really slow. Because I think the AI was reading the text and trying, how can I help here? And it was just making everything, like I would click a key and it would be like a second later that it would shop. And I was like, I'm turning it off. And after that, everything was normal. Yeah, but did you know? Exactly. Have you tried it or noticed that?
So the answer to that is no, because I just rely on like other things that are more proven, right?
Yeah,
like ChatGPT or other areas where they seem to have gotten it down. I mean, just with the sheer announcement that, oh, hey, this is now built into all of our new products, right? Like iPhone 16, iPhone, 20, whatever it is. And, but wait, we have to back off on that. We have to wait. So, I think it's very much like what you're talking about here is like a lot of companies have resisted actually saying, hey, NAB's the day that we want to release. It'll be neat if they do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, here's the new GH7. Here you go.
Yeah. So I guess what might be ripe for an NAB announcement, Blackmagic usually always announces something new on NAB. It could be like a little switch or something, maybe not camera related, but they usually announce a new camera at NAB. We'll see. I think they might just be displaying their 17K camera and maybe their stereo camera, which they've the stereo camera they paired with Apple. There's like a partnership so that people can wear those Apple
Vision Pros.
Yeah, Vision Pros, and they're shot on Blackmagic. But the three people that have those. But I had some notes here about what maybe we could see. Okay. So I thought Insta360. It's been a while since the 360 cameras came out. The last one I got, I think, was a year ago. Okay. Or maybe a little less than a year ago. So maybe they'll at least announce it. And they're always coming out with stuff. So we'll see. Blackmagic, yeah, they'll probably announce something. We just talked about that. Sony, maybe we'll get an A7S, a new A7S, and a new FX update from the FX3 and the FX30. Because it's been a while. It's been like 4 years. 5 years.
Yep.
Maybe another Topaz AI. I actually use Topaz AI to up-res and make old video look better. So maybe they'll announce something. And then the sessions, I'm kind of a fan of Shane Hurlbutt. I subscribed to his Filmmakers Academy like 15 years ago. And I kind of unsubscribed a couple of years ago because what's this thing being charged on my card every month? And then I realized it was that. And back a long time ago, it was worth it. But then, more recently, it's not that worth it. But he did something really recent. He did a whole thing on one of my new cameras that we'll talk about later in the show. Okay. And like a whole 3-hour thing. It was about as long as this TechMove. And
that's impossible. There is no other show in the universe that is longer than a TechMove episode. So
yeah, we're just going against the grain. Everybody wants shorter and shorter stuff, but we're going longer and longer.
Everybody's attention span limited to about 2-3 minutes, 30 seconds, something like that. Not TechMove.
No, opposite.
Opposite.
We're an opposite world. So I'll be attending that. I'm also going to just be attending a lot of AI video production stuff because honestly, it's happening. Okay. Like you can't deny it.
And is that exciting for a filmmaker like yourself for that, or does it worry you in some ways? Does the creative aspect of it go away?
I think it's a little bit worrisome because people might be using AI to do video production. Like they'll just take a snapshot of somebody. Like we'll take a little video of you, right? Just this thing that's going on right now with you, and then I'll just capture that along with your voice, and then I'll put it into AI and just say, okay, now I want to have Rod announce the next tech move, and just have it generate. And it takes, a few minutes, and we've got it. We've got final video. Sounds good. Sounds like you.
That would actually be fantastic for my scheduling. I actually approve of that.
I did a little subscription. Yeah, so there's this one of the highest end ones called Runway, and so I just did a subscription. I did a free version, but my free credits ran out recently, so I just subscribed to it, and I actually did our show, a little bit of our show logo intro with that.
Yeah,
I just put our.
I got to preview that a little bit, and it looked pretty good.
It's okay for a couple minutes.
Okay for a couple of minutes, yeah, and just like probably punching in some parameters of how you want it to go, and all I did was
say, honestly, all I did was give them the logo and say, create a wild 3D animation of this logo. That's all I did. I didn't have to. And it's really, I'll show you what it did. I cut out a lot of the weird stuff, but I'll show you what I did later. It's some really strange things. But there's some usable part. Anyway, yeah, the AI stuff is going to be really, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, and it might interfere with my work a little bit, but I'm just going to get on ahead of it.
Yeah, and I think the more educated we are about its capabilities, what it can do, and still what it can't do, is going to be the thing that I like about the AI possibilities is just helping us with our workflows.
Oh yeah,
I think in that way that could be great, right? But then as far as the creative aspect of it, think about what to say, how to present, how to display things and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty tough to do with AI.
I think next episode I'm gonna generate an AI of you, and we'll see. We'll compare it. We'll have a contest.
Like that. Yeah. I would. It'll probably be a lot better and a lot smoother. That's the thing that and make me look more like Brad Pitt or something like that.
Okay,
that would be fantastic.
Okay, so we're gonna start the actual show, and the next segment is basically just a little show and tell of us getting back together, kind of for the first time in quite a while, where I show a few cameras that I've gotten over the last year. And some other stuff, and then the rest of the episode is self-explanatory. Okay,
folks, let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of these clips that we've got coming in, and Keith will roll those, and then we'll come back and talk about other things that we've got going. So stay right there and check this out right here on TechMove.
So here's the GH7. So I sold all my other GHs, for like $5.
Well, when it gets to that price, I'll buy the GH7. So just let me know.
Okay, but so about this lens here.
Yes.
So I had this. Okay, so never do this, but I had this jib thing going, and you need to weight down the back end of a jib to counteract the camera.
Correct.
So usually use actual weights.
Correct.
But in this case,
sandbags.
Yeah, something that's kind of heavy and not expensive.
Right.
But I'd actually used this inside of a case, this actual configuration inside of a case as the weight.
Okay.
And then I forgot about it, and it just plopped off the end when I was moving the jib thing, and I didn't even want to look inside. But
did it hit really hard? Did it hit really hard?
It hit really hard, but I didn't even want to look inside the thing, and then when I looked in it, this lens, which is like $1,000 lens, this is the 12 to 60.
Is that 2.4? Is that 2.4?
This is like 2.8 to 4. It's variable.
Oh, so it's a variable. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but it's very versatile because it goes, pretty wide and pretty long.
Is that a Lumix lens, or is that
it's a Lumix? It's a Lumix, whatever, Zeiss or whatever, like a Zoom Lumix. I guess Leica just puts their name. They sell their name for like $100 to put it on this lens. But so what happened?
Purple Z. little Z there, right?
Yeah, but
Right.
no, I think it's actually a Leica, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, so it just tore off the front, so that it basically broke off the lens.
Oh,
So, but apparently they're fixable. So I fixed it. Yeah, I bought the little parts because the actual little contacts and stuff are ripped apart. They have little these things on the back.
Right, which tell it to zoom and autofocus and everything like that. Sure.
Yeah. Unlike the A7 autofocus.
Right.
Here we go. Yeah. So this is like a separate part, and it's like a little ribbon cable that goes inside, and then this part was all broken. This silvery part. Was all broken. It was like these little screws were all broken out.
Oh.
And then there were, and the thing is all plastic inside, so I could see why it actually broke. Which is, I think it's designed to break. So it's like a breakaway, like crush zones in your car, I guess. But anyway, so I had this broken lens. Luckily, the camera was fine, but they had this broken lens for a while. I was like, I think I'm going to try to fix it. So there's a couple of YouTube videos of people fixing similar things. Most of the time the videos are really crappy, and they're just their hands are covering whatever they're doing, so you can't really tell what the little miniature thing.
The thing I really hate are like MacBook Pro battery replacement videos, because I'm wanting to do that for myself, is to replace because I've got an old MacBook Pro.
Oh yeah,
and it could use a new battery, but the video is like 5 minutes long, and it's going to take like 3 weeks for me to do it, right? Because I'm going to lose a screw, I'm going to electrocute myself with the power supply, and like these videos are just they're so quick. They go through it, they make it seem simple, but it's not. Right?
Yeah. So eventually I got to it. I said, okay, I actually ordered the parts from AliExpress, and it was only like $35 in parts, like the little metal thing.
Great.
Yeah, it was really cheap.
Good. Totally worth it then to try it, right? Otherwise it was gonna just stay broken.
Yeah. So I epoxied it together and did all the screws, and it really didn't take that long. It took about 2 hours. Yeah. And I just had to wait for all the stuff to kind of dry and harden, and then I put it on. It seems to be fine.
And autofocus works fine.
Everything works the way it should. Yeah.
Fabulous.
It works good. Yeah.
Did you get any of the new Lumix full frame cameras?
Yes, I did.
You did? Oh, see, so we'll have to talk about that, because that's the big one, right? Where the big topic is about whether or not to use a GH7 or the new, was it S2 Mark II or S5?
The very latest Lumix,
the full frames, the big full that just came out like about a month ago or something like that. So it's like, whoa! Even though I would have to say that the new full frame didn't wow as many people as the GH7 seemed to. I think that's why I like the GH7 so much.
Yeah. Well, it's actually, the thing about the GH7 is they finally fixed the autofocus, so now it's really fast and accurate.
And incredible, too.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've used it a couple times. I haven't used it a ton.
And the IBIS, too.
The IBIS is really good. It's not, I have to figure out if I like the image as much, as like the A7 stuff.
Right.
Or the other cameras I have, but it's really versatile, and it's not too big, and the lenses are pretty small. So that part's really good. So it's a good kind of like hybrid, like run and gun type of camera, I guess.
Yeah.
That's pretty light.
Whoa. Oh, okay. That thing is so huge. You're going to have to zoom out. I can't see anything but a rig. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. So isn't
that your Sony C something?
No, this is the Blackmagic.
That's a Blackmagic?
Yeah. It's their new boxy camera.
Wow.
So this is their full frame camera. It's got a cage on it.
They came out with full frame now. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they've come out with, and the thing that I like about this, not only full frame, but it's what's called open gate.
Yeah.
Meaning you get a little bit more height.
The GH7 is also open gate too.
So I'm only going to get open gate cameras from now on. I'm not going to get any, just because it's more versatile.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So let me see if I can change this angle here so I can.
I love the monitor. I love the rigging of the thing. That looks awesome.
Thank you. How do I do this? Whatever. I'll put you in there. I have all these presets, but they're not set up for the right cameras. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. And this is actually so what I got was the so there's the L mount now, the one that goes on the Lumix cameras. Yes. So you can actually you can get the L mount on all the Blackmagic cameras now, which is pretty good because it's pretty versatile. So you can put an adapter on it. So you can get an EF lens. So this is an EF lens. This is a really nice EF zoom lens.
Is that one of your old EF lenses that you might have had?
No, I mean I have some, but I didn't have that many full frame Sigmas. So this is one of my few full frame Sigmas, and I got it pretty recently. And so this is a Sigma 20 to 70, I think. Right. 24 to 70. And it's got, autofocus and all that stuff. I mean, if your camera did autofocus, it would do autofocus. But it does like kind of a push button autofocus. So if you press this button here, this little button here, it'll actually focus just once. And then it'll stop focusing. So you just press that if you want to focus on something, and then that's it. But you can get these adapters to go from the L mount, which is what's in the body, to the EF mount. So this is compatible with old Canon cameras. Yeah, it's a pretty universal type of adapter thing.
And it's not like Metabones or anything like that. It's not any kind of speed booster or anything like that. It's just really adapter to fit all that different glass.
It's just electronic. This happens to be a Sigma brand, but there's also a Viltrox, I think. I have a Viltrox. Your famous Viltrox,
right?
And
which I love my Viltrox.
Yeah, well they've become like a big name now, right?
I mean, just because Metabones became so unaffordable for so many people.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I finally got my inset here. So we can
that looks great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks good.
To turn something off. Yeah. Yeah. So Viltrox has become like more of a reputable adapter brand now. Whereas when you got it, it was like, El Cheapo.
Oh, but, I mean, yeah, exactly. That's why we loved them because they were so darn cheap. Now they're probably going to charge like 15%, 20% more than what they used to, most likely. So
yeah. So the one thing about this camera and most of these full frame Blackmagics is they don't have the neutral density filters on it.
Okay.
So you have to put something on the front of the camera, or just high shutter speed or something. But the Viltrox that I got was. There's parts in there that
as you break the Viltrox. That's okay. They're cheap enough where you can break them. And
this was this is not that cheap. It's funny.
I'm telling you, they found their niche. Now they're going to jack us up for it now.
Yeah. So this is the. Here, I'm going to switch over
the camera because there you go.
Yeah. So this is the.
That looks nice.
Yeah. So
you have to L mount. Yep.
Yeah, so this is the L mount on this side.
Yep.
Come on, focus. And then but the thing that's different from the Sigma adapter is that, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but it has this variable ND inside.
Yeah.
So you can actually put this on, and then you can also adjust you can see it getting lighter and darker, I guess, right?
Is that an infinity type of
it has stops.
It only goes stops. Oh,
yeah, it's like 2 stops to 20 or something. Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of useful for using it for when you're outside or it's just too much light.
That's great. Yeah, and then that way you can get
you get pretty good cinematic movement and stuff.
Exactly.
I guess nowadays one of the things that I do sometimes is I actually use DaVinci Resolve, and you can actually have this frame interpolation type stuff where it kind of blurs. It sees the difference between two frames, and so if you have like a staccato, like your frame rate's really super high, and so everything's kind of the Saving Private Ryan effect. Now we're dating ourselves because that movie, most people don't even know what that movie is anymore. But the thing about that movie was that it had this, for the battle scenes, they used a super high shutter speed, so everything was really staccato looking.
Right.
There was no blur. Like here, we see the blur.
It was almost kind of like a strobing effect in many ways, right?
Yeah. But nowadays with AI, I guess, or whatever, you can it can see the difference between the two frames. And even if one's really sharp and the other is really sharp, it actually creates a blurriness in that frame to kind of imitate the slower shutter speeds.
Right.
So anyway.
Yeah, but we're still going the old way. Let's just buy filters.
Just buy filters and shake the camera a lot and use.
You said something very interesting to me that I thought I might never hear from you, and that is that when you're in DaVinci Resolve, I thought that there might be a point in time that you might go back to Premiere. Has that not happened? That has not happened to you, Keith?
I do still have Premiere, and I use it, I guess, for projects where there's no deadline because it's crashing. It's just the most unstable piece of crap ever. And so a lot of the new ones where there actually is a deadline, I've just kind of bitten the bullet and just use DaVinci Resolve and get pretty good results. So, yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll start the project and it's just so crashy, I just convert over. I started in Premiere. It's going great for like a day. And then it's just becomes so unstable that I just say, I'm just going to go to Resolve because it's way faster and more stable. And when it does crash, you don't lose everything.
Right.
And actually, that's something that Premiere is getting better at. They haven't fixed the crashiness, but they allow you to kind of save. It's continually saving, so you're not losing a lot. Whereas before, unless you just hit the save button every time, you just lose everything.
Right. So. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But Resolve is great. It's really fast and powerful. You can have a lot of cameras going at once with the really high resolutions. So it doesn't get bogged down.
Were you, and I did enjoy using Resolve, but the time that it took for me to learn it was just too much.
Yeah. Definitely learning curve.
So like, I've been using Final Cut Pro, which I enjoy. However, I am thinking of using Resolve for color grading, because I know that the color grading in Resolve is really great.
Yeah, but only if you're like a specialist in color grading and want to have these power windows where you just draw a mask around somebody and just make their face brighter and then make a 3D mask.
That's exactly.
You do that all the time. But I think
that's what I want to do.
I mean, Resolve is really. The color stuff is okay. Obviously, the colors, but it's also really complicated.
Yeah,
it's really busy.
Complicated to use.
Yeah, it's a really busy app. And then also the way I think there actually are ways to do things simpler. It's just that you have to discover them. They're not obvious,
Right. Right.
Whereas in like Final Cut or even Premiere, it's pretty obvious what to do. Yes. It kind of follows like a logic.
Yes.
But in Resolve, it's kind of like you have to just learn the way it works.
Right. Exactly.
And then dive into it.
Exactly.
Just like simple things like adjustment layer on.
Yes.
Like I want to just make all these clips. Like I want one adjustment and it affects all these clips.
Right.
And that's really simple in like Premiere and I guess Final Cut too.
Yeah.
But like in Resolve, you can do it. But it's not as easy.
And you have to, don't you also have to like kind of create a shortcut in order to do it too? Like if you want to apply that kind of thing?
Yeah, you have to create something called a group.
Group.
And then you have to add the clips that you want into that group. And adding the clips is kind of tedious because you have to find those clips on your timeline and you have to individually add them. But I think there's a new thing now. It's called compositions or something like that, or composition shortcuts. And I think that's going to actually make all this stuff easier. It's like a new thing that a lot of people don't know about. And I just saw it the other day, so I'm going to try that.
Will that be in an update or something? Or
it's actually in there. It's been in there for a while.
It's buried in there somewhere.
It's just buried. There's so many features, and nobody knows how it works, so you have to discover it.
That's great. Good. Very good. Excellent.
Anyway, so that's kind of my. I have this one other thing.
I love the new gear. I think that's awesome. That is terrific. So, is the Blackmagic going to be? Is that your A camera now?
It depends on this project.
Ah.
Yeah, it depends on the project. I think for like the medium projects, it's kind of the thing. It has this. It's kind of weird. It's look at this screen. It doesn't even have a screen on top. It has a screen on the side. Yeah. Like so this would be something like if you're in an interview and you're sitting next to it and you're talking to the person and you can see the screen here. So I don't know if you can see it. You can see the screen. So then you have to get another screen if you want to use it for anything else, because you can't because when you're like running gunning like
I don't even know where I'm framing.
That's not going to work. So they sold this. So they actually just shipped these special monitors for this camera, which is actually a touchscreen. So you can control it like you're controlling the camera.
Great.
Yeah.
And what kind of cable is that it uses?
This is just a high quality USB-C cable, and I guess it has enough smarts in it to communicate controls too. That's
pretty great if it's just a standard USB-C cable. That's pretty good.
Just a higher quality one, not the cheaper ones. And then,
awesome.
And then it's pretty modular, so you can add. It's really heavy. It's like super heavy. Yeah, it's amazingly heavy. Like all the other previous cameras made out of plastic, and this is made out of lead or something. So they said, let's just make it really heavy and make it seem more worth it. But
do you like image quality that comes out of it?
So far, it's really good. It's a full frame, and it has it's a little noisy. It's not as noise reduced as like the Sony cameras. Okay. But you can do a lot of that in post. Kind of this. So a lot of the thing about the Sony cameras being like low light kings and all that is because they have all this massive noise reduction going on in the camera, which is pretty good. But it's not just the sensor. It's all this extra circuitry. It's kind of like the iPhone. Like the iPhone little camera and stuff isn't that great, but then it does all this computation behind it. Right. To make it better. So you can do that in post with this. This is like you can shoot in RAW, and then you can, in DaVinci Resolve, you can massage the noise level out. Yeah. But it's a full frame and it's the open gate, so it gives you a lot of versatility. So I would use this for like interviews, right?
Okay.
So I can see the people from the side, right? Sure. And if I want to, I can see the monitor and control it that way. And then I got a whole bunch of the DJI Focus Pro systems. So I don't know if I told you about that before.
Isn't that like their follow focus line of stuff?
Yeah,
I've seen that. That it looks great. It really looks fantastic.
Yeah, they used to have it just to work on their gimbal, which I had. Yeah. Right. But it was kind of a pain because even if you wanted to just shoot without the gimbal, you had to put it on the gimbal to use it. But now they came up with a new version that is basically just a handle. I can show it to you, but maybe next episode. But it's a handle that has like a little touch screen on it where you can put parameters in, and then that controls the motor, the focus motors. And then it's got this little LiDAR setup that goes on top of your camera. So it would mount like somewhere here. And it's just a sensor, and it just shoots out radar and then bounces back, and then it controls the motor. So you don't really need all that great autofocus anymore if you have that. And you can use cinema lenses. You have to get a lens with a gear on it. Right. But yeah, so that's kind of
work well? Does it work
it works really well. It works almost as good as like the A7s and the Canons.
That's great.
Yeah, it's just more stuff, but
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that sounds great. and I believe I saw it being demoed, and I thought, wow, that's really great, because the less additional stuff you need to have, the better it is, right? I mean, because we have so much other junk that the less more adaptive things we have to put on, the better, because we just have so much crap already.
Yeah, that's true. So it's kind of the opposite of what I'm doing, but so that's why that's why this is good for that. This and the A7 and whatever is good for that.
Right.
Or if you want to just jump up because it's got built-in NDs, this is the C70.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can just put a Canon lens, or I actually have it's an RF. So Canon has this new RF mount. So all the new Canon cameras have the RF mount. It's a little bit shallower. It's kind of like an F mount. It's a little bit shallower depth of field, but there's still enough room for an ND in there. So this is like one step up if you want to go to the convenience level, autofocus and all that, but still have a nice, camera. This is a Super 35.
And are you still using that camera?
I use it once in a while. Believe it or not, I probably use the A7 III the most just because it's the easiest.
Yeah.
And then this one once in a while. So.
Great. That's good.
Yeah. They came out with a full frame version of this, which I may just sell this and get that one. I'm not sure.
Oh, what is that? Is that APS-C or something like that?
Yeah, it's a Super 35 sensor.
Super 35.
So it's kind of good in a way, because then you can put a speed booster on it, and pretty much it's a full frame.
Right.
In a way. And this one is a little bit less sharp. The sensor is a little bit less sharp than the newest one. The C80 sensor is a 6K sensor, and this is only 4K. And it makes a big difference.
Let's go back to the Blackmagic, and the thing about that is that, how is it in low light? Have you seen how it works? Is it
not as good as the Sony or Canon, for sure?
Not as good as Sony Canon. Maybe on par with the Lumix. Yeah,
probably better than the Lumix, because the Lumix is a micro four thirds.
Right.
And then those are,
even though there was talk that the micro four thirds had come a long way from even my GH4.
Oh yeah.
Where it's even more usable now at what they say. I think they said that it was actually fairly usable at 3200 ISO or something like that, and might be even slightly better than that. So
I haven't done a lot of super low light tests with it, just because I wouldn't choose that for my low light.
Exactly, you'd probably use the A7 or the
A7S III. It's actually got a 12,800 ISO. Like it's got a 4 or 800 ISO, and then it jumps up to the 12,000 ISO. It's really weird, because you can be bumping up the ISO, and at 12,000 it looks like crap. It's really noisy, and then you just click once higher, and it's really good. Right. So most of the time you would just shoot in that, unless you're in like super bright daylight. You just shoot in that 12.8, and it's really clean. I'm not sure about the GH7 low light. I just haven't really tested it that much in that.
I think it still suffers from the same challenges as always Micro Four Thirds did. However, I think it's a lot better from what we used to remember it to be, which was pretty much unusable after like 800 ISO. After 800, it was pretty much unusable at that point.
Yeah, and we're talking about the GH1, the GH13. Yeah. Those are amazing cameras, but they just, that's like 15 years ago, right?
It's a million years ago. I mean,
that's like really a lifetime.
Like forever ago. I mean, if you think that, they've released a GH, they haven't skipped a number, I don't think. I think they've gone GH1, GH2, GH3, blah, 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 all the way up to now 7. So that's, and, they're not exactly on a quick release date thing either. They take their time of releasing cameras. So unlike Sony, where they release one every like month or something, seems like.
Much. Although the A7 III series has a long time between releases.
Oh yeah.
Like this A7 III, it's still, I guess, considered a pretty state of the art camera, and it's like from 19 or something. It's really old. It's like 6 years old now.
Yeah. And in camera world, that's forever, right?
Yeah. But it's still being used on, feature films, the FX3, the kind of cinema version of it, which is pretty much the same thing.
Right.
It just doesn't have a viewfinder.
Yeah.
That was used in films. That's it. That was actually used in The Creator. Did you realize that?
No.
Yeah, the movie The Creator?
Yeah.
They used the Sony. Yeah. They basically used this camera in it. The FX3.
That's pretty awesome.
Which is this camera we're filming.
Yeah.
On. So I could produce a $300 million movie with just like right now. With this camera and OBS, we could just do it.
Well, yeah. Of course, we'd have nothing to say, but that's okay. Well, along that same lines is that your iPhone is now only shooting those Apple events nowadays, right? So, and those look pretty good.
Yeah.
Of course, you never see the rigging that it takes to make those things, but who cares?
The rigging is pretty much a little clamp,
right?
A little clamp, and I think that's it. And then just the little.
Haven't you seen this? Like they have the little clamp, but then like the softbox that they use is like a 20-foot softbox, like the size of the moon. And it's like, we gotta light it just right. You gotta do this kind of thing. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I could do that too. My word, look at that thing. That's a 12K behemoth. Holy mackerel.
It's even heavier than the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, give us make and model, please.
This is the Blackmagic Ursa 12K OLPF, which stands for the optical low pass filter model.
Wow. So that is a real Ursa. That's a real Ursa.
This is a real Ursa. Yeah. I've had a couple Ursas, but I sold them. In fact, I just sold one of my early Ursas. But this is the 12K. So this is a Super 35 sensor. So it's not a full frame, but it's 12K.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can pretty much eat through all.
What does the file size look like on that? I mean,
it'll just destroy your one hard drive in 10 seconds. Just 8 gigabytes, not yet 8 terabytes of hard drive, and like
8 terabytes for about 10 minutes worth of video. Probably.
So you don't really shoot this in 12K unless you're a nut, but you'll shoot it in maybe 8K, and so it downsamples really well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. And so the 8K looks really good, almost as good as the 12K. So this is like especially if you have like a wide panel and you don't want to have 20 cameras set up. Right. Just like maybe do a wide camera, and then you can select between the people.
And you can in post you'd be able to zoom in, and it looks pretty good.
It looks pretty good. Yeah, looks
great.
It's high quality, and so I got that. And there's actually a new one coming out. It's the full frame version of that.
Would you get that?
I'm really considering it because it's even better than this one. The design is slightly different than this. It's a little bit higher end. And so the reason I'm considering it now is because they came out with the $15,000 version of that full frame version. And I don't know if it didn't sell or whatever. And now they reduced the price. They threw away all the extra stuff, which isn't really that much in my opinion. And then now it's down to like 7K. So I think at 7K, it's worth it.
At 7K of a price point for a 12K
full frame camera. Yeah.
Full frame. That doesn't sound like something that would turn a lot of people off. That sounds pretty great.
It seems really attractive. And then if you're in that environment,
that sounds like a good price point right there for something like that.
So we'll see. I'm considering it. I have a little, I don't have it on order, but I have a little notification when it comes available. Cool. They take a long time. So that's it. So this is even heavier. So definitely, do your weight workout. with it.
This is great, Keith, because what I'm so impressed about is how everyone is trying to do their best by making things as small as possible. But yet, here at TechMove, we actually want to go as big as humanly possible, which is great. I love that about us, right? We defy what general thought is, what conventional thought is. Nope, not us. Let's go.
Yeah, if this camera, I think this camera is probably like 25 pounds right now. It's pretty heavy. And this is actually a really small lens on it. What if you had like a gigantic
what's great
lens?
is that you have it set right now for run and gun, which is awesome.
Kind of.
Kinda. Yeah. I mean, just strap on a Synology NAS on your belt and you'll be okay. You'll be fine.
Okay, so that's my camera rundown. Oh, okay. So now let's go back. Let's go to the smaller cameras now. So we've gone big. So we'll go to small.
Okay. No, this is good. Okay. This is good show and tell. I like it.
I'll switch over to my.
Okay.
Well, while we wait.
That's fantastic. That looks great.
I'm trying to find. Okay, let me pan up to the.
Yeah. Pan up to the collection. I love it. and you know what I love? You just put the little GH7 right there, just for fun. It's cute. It's like if we had a little Instamatic camera, film camera, you could put it right there, and it'll look cute. That's nice.
Okay, so now we're gonna go back to the smaller cameras. So this, can you tell what this is?
That is a Osmo Pocket 3 in a rig. In that you told me about that, and I actually went to go look at it myself because it addresses so many things that we're scared about, right? Because like our Osmo, am I correct on that? It's essentially the cage for
basically
the Osmo Pocket 3.
Protective thing for it. Yeah. So let me turn it on.
And then you could rig it up too. You could attach like a light to it because it has a quarter 20 on the sides, right?
Yeah. It's got little quarter 20s. It's
awesome.
got a quarter 20 in the bottom. I have a quick release on it now. But,
fabulous. And the most important thing, it doesn't obstruct the screen for when you got to flip it open and you want to have it in land. Oh, maybe. Isn't it like Jimmy's? It has some sort of weird name, like Jimmy's Cages or something like that. I thought where you actually got the cage for it. You told me about it.
Yeah, we can look it up.
Yeah,
we'll mention it in our show notes.
Yes, right. when it's way too late.
When it doesn't help anybody. Okay, so let me see.
Oh gosh, so everyone's got a cage, don't they? Everyone's got a cage.
So this is the thing that actually makes the cage when you're actually using it.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the thing that makes it kind of useful. And so this used to stick out like here. You can see I shaved it away.
Oh, okay.
But this plastic part, this plastic part used to stick out.
Yeah.
Come on.
I have to hide your face. Here you go.
Nope. Whatever. You can just imagine what it looks like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In focus. Yeah. So
Scotty makes stuff.
That's right. Scotty
makes stuff.
Okay, Scotty.
.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought a bunch of stuff from you, Scotty. So.
Yeah.
And
so
it
we're
works
giving
pretty
you a
well.
plug.
Yeah,
giving you a plug.
But this part was, so what would happen was I would do a lot of stuff where I was like doing this movement. See,
Yep.
Wait, actually, no, it's on the zoom. That's what I hate about this thing. It goes into zoom or...
Yes.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, so when you're going like that, the top thing...
you would get a little bit of the cage.
It would get in the way.
Shot.
Yeah. So I had to carve that out, and it's still strong, and it's still protecting it. Because the main thing was I was hitting it on things a lot without
Agreed.
this. Yeah. So anyway, so that's why I did this. I actually think I'm going to
all
carve.
the time. I'm going to break this thing.
Yeah.
This thing is going to break in like another day and a half or something.
Yeah. I actually broke mine.
Did you?
Oh yeah, the first one of these. This is a replacement. Yeah. The first one, I was in this gig on stage, and there were some kids that were running around the stage, and and it was on a little tripod, like kind of, one of those quick tripods that doesn't have much stability, and the kid just went plop, and it just went bang onto the ground, and then when I looked at it, the screen was like, it was still recording, like the red light was blinking, but the screen was all. At first, it looked okay, kind of distorted, and then it just started getting worse. And pretty soon, you couldn't see anything. It was like wavy lines and video garbage. So, and then I sent it back. And you know what? They actually fixed it for like $35. I couldn't believe it.
That's great.
Yeah. It was really unbelievable. Yeah. And it was pretty quick. It was only like a couple weeks.
Shout out to DJI.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Way to stand by the product.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Now there's stuff they can't sell it anymore, but in U.S. But
and if you send it away, you might never get it back, right? So
you get it back, but it'll cost you like $1 million to get it back.
We're gonna ban mail now. Is what I read in the news. We're banning mail. Period. That'll be good. Yeah. No, that's
we're not political.
I think that's a very useful thing.
I would recommend it if you really are going to do stuff where you're kind of getting into dangerous territory, where you're filming things.
Well, you know what? I took the Pocket 3 on vacation when I went to Southeast Asia, and this was just a couple months ago. And you know what? As you have this equipment, the longer you have it, the worse I treat it. I've noticed that, right? Like when you first get it, you put it in a flight case. You're putting it stuffed with foam and all this kind of stuff. By the time I went on this last week, I was just putting it without the plastic stock case and just shoving it in my pocket and just hoping for the best. The lens itself is rotating 50 million different ways because I'm just
grabbing it from the top.
I'm manually spinning it myself.
Yeah.
There's a period of time where you just stop caring after a while. I don't know. Yeah. It's terrible. I know. I'm the worst one to say that because I got to keep all this crap and it's got to last me for 50 million years. So, but I like it. In fact, I love this image that it's given me right now. I think I really like it.
Yeah, it's very crisp.
It seems okay. Seems all right.
Yeah.
I don't know how it looks to you guys, but it seems might be a little flat, but whatever.
It looks okay.
Yeah.
You're looking good.
Good enough. Good. If I graded it, it'd look dynamic.
Yes.
I maybe I might look as good as Saving Private Ryan. There's another reference for you. Anyway, that's good stuff. One thing that I did want to talk to you about and ask your opinion. Let me look it up right now because this is something that really turned me on. Which one is it? Is it that? Oh yeah, I think this is it. You know what I really think is super cute right now is the DJI Flip drone.
Oh yeah.
It looks like they're completely disposable drone that's just completely made out of plastic, but it looks like it could do like pretty neat things for relatively cheap, about $500-600 or something like that, whatever it is. Are you still using drones at all, or did you give up that, or did you give that up?
I use them all the time.
Really? You're still using it?
I use them for things that you wouldn't necessarily use them for, like think about using it, like use them indoors a lot for jib shots and stuff, and people are like, what the hell? Right. They're all freaking out. I just do it to scare them, really.
I mean, like in this setting right now, it could be used pretty easily. I think it could be kind of neat.
Maybe we should break one out and use one now.
You should break one out and try it.
So I sold all my big drones.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I sold all the Pro 4s, and I sold the Mavic Pro 2, and I sold a bunch of them. Sold like 10 of them. And so
did you get
now
any money for those? Did you get any money for those things?
Almost all this stuff is almost worthless.
I know. Once you take it out, it's pretty much done. Right?
Yeah, but it's rather than collecting dust, somebody else can use it that is less fortunate or whatever. So I just gave it to them to homeless people. Anyway. So this is the one that I used probably the most.
Is that a Mavic?
And this is the mini, the DJI Mini Pro 4. Yeah. So this is like the latest mini one. And the thing that's cool about this is that they're pretty quiet and they're very small and light. So you can pretty much you can just carry it in your pocket. This literally is like a pocket drone.
Right.
And the quality is really, really good. Like the quality is as good as even the big ones.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And so it's got its covers and everything on it, and it's super light. So it's not you don't have to license it. It weighs 249 grams, which is the FAA limit. Although I'm not sure that really matters anymore because there's so many controls on drones now.
Right. Right.
But it's much less intimidating, and I have the prop guards and stuff too, so that you can't like easily cut somebody with it. So it's pretty safe. Right. So yeah, so I would get one of these, but these aren't that cheap. They're like the $600 to $700 range, and then you need to have a.
So, like, are you familiar with the flip that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Let me see if I can bring it up on the screen here. Let me see.
I believe that's the one. I believe that's the newest and latest one. Yeah, it is the flip.
Yeah, let me bring it up on my other screen here. So now we're seeing this guy.
Yeah, there you go. See, so like you said, $640 compared to the one that you're looking at, which may or may not be a couple of bucks more, maybe. Like, I wonder which one.
Yeah, I think it's similar. But this one is more like
it's kind of toyish.
It's kind of toyish. It's got the built-in guards, which is really good. It makes it safer. So I like that. But I don't know. I haven't really looked into the quality.
Yeah.
Have you?
I think it's geared more towards like entry level drone users that just want to get into it and like maybe fly, 20, 30, 50 feet up from where you are type of thing. I don't think it's going to be like, you don't want to fly this over the volcano eruption.
Is that a little LCD screen in the front?
I don't really know. I think.
Yeah. Look.
Yeah.
It's got little. Oh, look. There's like a little keyboard, so you can just enter. It's like a computer and a drone.
Right.
It's perfect.
Right.
Well, it's cute.
It's cute, yeah.
I guess
don't know. Is it more worth it to get something like this or the one that you have?
Well, I think it just depends on your audience. I think this one probably doesn't have all the tracking and stuff that this other one has. So this one's pretty cool because you can set like on your controller. You can say I want to follow that person. Right. And then it'll follow them, or you can circle around them.
I think this flip does do that. I believe it does. I thought that it did, but
I don't know. Maybe it might be good, but it's not.
Look at the controller. Look at the controller that comes. The
controller costs more, though. I think
it doesn't come with it. Does it come with that there? No,
I don't know. Maybe. I see it. I see a controller there. And that's actually that's the controller I have.
Mm-hmm.
So if it does come with it, that's actually a pretty good deal because the controller's not cheap. So this is the cheaper version. Oh, okay. And then this is the and this is the one with that controller. So that's actually pretty good because mine just by itself without the controller. Let me see what it looks. Let me just switch over.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, so the kind of the same thing is a lot more. So this is kind of the setup.
Because you have to get the whole kit. You have to get the whole kit thing.
Yeah, and this is the setup I have, pretty much.
Yeah, that's too much money. That's too much money.
That's a little bit too much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Way too much. I'm choking on myself just thinking about it right now.
Really? Okay.
Well,
go back to this.
Just because I'm such a cheapskate.
By the way, this episode is brought to you by B&H Photo.
Oh, and I got to tell you this, Keith, that in during Easter week, I will be making the pilgrimage to B&H Photo and Video.
Oh,
so I'm looking forward to going there and saying hello to all of them over there, and they won't know who I am, but it doesn't matter because I will tell them that I am part of the great TechMove Nation, and they will instantly give me a 20% increase in price on anything that I purchase there. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Huh?
You've been there before, right?
No, never been to B&H. I'm gonna go for the first time. Why not?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see what happens.
It's cool. They have these the orders. They're like
you told me that it has a really cool conveyor belt type of thing.
Yeah, like going over your head.
Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they have like little gnomes in the back shipping stuff, and they put them down the conveyor belt.
I guess Santa's elves can't wear the Christmas outfits all year long. They gotta wear something different.
I think it's actually a Jewish-owned organization. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
Just be careful there.
It actually is true because I remember ordering stuff from them and they close for like Hanukkah and
like
Rosh
always
Hashanah
closed.
and stuff like that. They're close a lot.
Closed. Yeah.
It's
like they close for the weekend.
You don't want my money? What the heck?
Yeah. But they do take a lot of my money.
Yes.
In fact, I just pre-ordered the Mac Studio. I think I told you.
Which I'm jealous of. So here, we haven't talked in a little while. Did you ever get a Mac Mini?
I did, but then I returned it.
Which Mac Mini did you get?
I got the original, M1.
Long time ago, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was like during the time when we were kind of in flux between the M1 studio, right?
It was my way to see if it was really a good thing, and actually it was really, really good because I had a lot of projects right at that point, and it actually helped speed up my encoding a lot.
Right.
Like it was way faster than my iMac Pro, like 5 times as fast. Yeah.
Right.
So I was just using this stupid little thing to do the work of this gigantic, expensive computer. This thing that cost like $400.
But you never ventured into the M4 Mac Mini.
No, I've heard it's great though.
Yeah, it's supposed to be awesome, and I love the footprint of it. It's just like our Mac Studio, just without the SD card slot, something like that.
Isn't it like a little lower, a little thinner?
It's smaller all the way. It looks more like, I would say, an Apple TV.
Yeah. So it's not the same dimensions.
Of our Mac Studio,
no. So it's
much smaller. It's closer to the Apple TV. So it's like more like, square box type of
square,
thing.
Silvery, kind of slippery.
Yeah, exactly. But so that's awesome. So I think you got the M3 Ultra chip.
I got the M3 Ultra. Yeah.
And then, did you get that maxed out with RAM or anything, or what did you end up doing?
Well, it's kind of weird because I think I have on my current one, I have 128 gigabytes of RAM, and I couldn't order that version because to me that I think it's enough. But there was a 96 and then a 256.
Oh, so interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and the 256 is really a lot more expensive. It's like $1,500 more for the same thing.
Their memory is so outrageously priced.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And a lot of people are saying you should save the money on the hard drive, the internal hard drive, because you can supposedly replace them. But for me, I think it was only like another $400 to get the 2 terabytes.
Okay.
So I just got that version because then it's kind of interchangeable with this one. I just do a swap, and then I don't have to worry about, different drives and waiting to find out how to hack the drive thing. So uncertainty, not worth it sometimes.
So you did get the upgrade to 2 terabytes internal.
Yeah, I got the 2 terabyte and then
SSD.
256 thing, and it's like $6,000.
That's how much your Mac Studio is going to be.
So then I got the warranty thing. I always get the 3-year warranties on them.
What is that? The Apple Care?
Yeah, it's the Apple Care for 3 years, and then if something goes wrong, they'll fix it.
Okay, that's
so
good.
I guess it just extends the warranty 2 more years, really.
And has it shipped yet or not yet?
That particular one has not shipped. I think they have other models that are available now. Mm-hmm. But I checked on the Apple site because I actually called B&H because I expected, supposedly it was supposed to be available like yesterday. And that they were releasing it yesterday. It's available by March 12th, right? That's what Apple was saying. So correct. I looked on the B&H site and I because I ordered through them because there's this thing if you use their credit card you don't have to pay tax, which is actually significant. It's like a 10% discount.
Oh yeah, especially on $6,000 for sure.
That's $600.
Yeah.
So, so I chatted with them today and I said, so when is it coming out? And they said, oh, we have no idea. It's back ordered and they have no idea. But then I went to the Apple site and I actually tried to order that one and it wasn't available until March 24th.
Oh.
So I think maybe they're going to release it or get all the shipments March 24th. I'm hoping. Because I've already sold my current one.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. So what I do is I always as soon as the new ones are announced, I go to one of those sites. I think the one I did is sellyourmac.com.
Okay.
Which is it's affiliated with OWC. I think it's owned by OWC. Okay. So I just immediately try to sell it through them.
Right.
And they have like a 30-day period where they can honor it.
Okay.
So I figured in that 30 days I'll get the new one and I can sell it.
Transfer all your junk and then wipe it clean and then you'll be good.
Yeah. Right. And then but I only think I got 3,000 for that, which is not bad. But
that's not bad. I mean, computers are such where it's so tough to get your money back on them anyway, right?
Yeah. So I figured I paid $3 for the new computer, which is 10% faster.
Yeah. I mean,
10%.
Yeah, that's something. That's pretty good.
No, I don't know. It's probably twice as fast.
M3 Ultra. Were you disappointed that they didn't have an M4 that was really specced out?
Of course.
Yeah. It's kind of dopey, isn't it?
It's kind of weird. It's like, why are they selling the Pros, the earlier version?
Right.
But I don't know.
But when you spec it all out, you'll notice that it's actually a little bit better than the M4.
It better be. It's like twice as expensive. Better be better. But what I've actually seen in the benchmarks is only like 20% faster or something. It's not that much faster. So
yeah, and the way they do the benchmarks is so sneaky too. They're like doing benchmarks off like the M1 or something like that, right? It's with like no RAM or something. It's like, well, of course it's going to be that much better. Of course it's going to be, and then they're still doing some comparables to like Intel Macs, which is crazy, right?
It's 3,000 times as fast as the 2020 Mac. Anyway, yeah. But it's something that I kind of wanted to get it last year because I thought they were going to come out last year. But
right.
I'd even pre-sold my current Mac last year.
You're really gambling, aren't you? You're gambling. That's great. Yeah. That's awesome.
They were really disappointed when I didn't send it back last year.
So when you pre-sell your computer, how long do you have before you actually have to box it up and send it away?
I think unless they've changed it, I think it's 30 days. I hope so.
So meaning that somebody who bought it, who wants to spend the $3,000, won't get their computer for at least a month? Is that
they're not going to buy
me?
they're not buying your computer. They're just buying from the inventory. But yeah, they won't be able to buy that for a month until I send it in. Yeah.
They probably got 50 million of those sitting around in a box that's configured exactly the same way as yours anyway.
They're not waiting for mine.
No, they're not waiting for yours. That's good to know. That's good.
Keith going to send his computer?
Poor little kid waiting to do his geometry homework because he doesn't have his Mac Studio because Keith is trying to wipe it clean from all his all his data mining he's doing and stuff.
All the Social Security numbers I've collected from Elon.
All the dark web downloads we do. Right. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Good. All right. Well, this was fun. This is fun. This is fun talking.
I think this might actually be
launch.
This might be usable.
All right. Hey, welcome back to TechMove. And we have a really great and interesting segment right now, which I'm really looking forward to because these are always fraught with a lot of controversy, tears, a lot of emotion usually comes into this, folks. And this is something where we're going to talk about Keith Moreau and his, can we say you're starting over again when it comes to networking of the home/office. Is that what we're going to be talking about?
Yeah, mostly. A lot of reinstallations of networking equipment and stuff.
Right. So you know, as we all know, very much like the camera business, networking devices are changing all the time.
Yeah.
Right. The technologies are much better. Like me here in the lab, the use of mesh Wi-Fi works really, really great for me.
Yeah.
And so, but of course you also need hard wiring in certain places. Keith, let's talk a little bit about the background here. What was the need to switch things up?
So I have kind of a smart home. I've even 20 years or more ever since I got this house. I've probably more than 20 years, like 30 years.
You've been at it for a long time, that's for sure. I know that.
Yeah, and my smart home endeavors started out with the X10, which I don't know if you remember the X10, right?
Yes, I do.
It was like the first kind of smart wireless switch where you could have like a little remote and then you could install something kind of far away and press it and it would turn on and off. It was pretty basic. And it uses anyway, so that was kind of my first endeavor. So I had X10 all over the place. And there's a lot of limitations and stuff, but it's pretty cool. Like rather than actually having a hard wire of your electricity, and you could actually turn things on and off without having a physical switch that was wired to your outlet or whatever you wanted to control. So anyway, so that evolved into Insteon, which I don't know if they bought X10 or they just separately used X10 protocols. I can't remember the company, but anyway, Insteon. Then I installed Insteon kind of as an upgrade because then I could still use my old X10 and the Insteon for that. And then
and how were these technologies running? Was it running off of Wi-Fi at that point?
It's kind of their version. It's not really Wi-Fi, but it's definitely radio. It's some type of radio signal. And that was actually the problem, is that the radio signal wasn't so totally reliable. And then there's still some technologies, I think, using those. They're lower frequency radio signals, like 900 megahertz and stuff like that, which is like an older band. But it actually, the lower in physics, the lower the megahertz, or the lower the frequency, the more it can actually penetrate through walls and obstacles. So the higher the frequency, the less it can get through something. So high frequency has great throughput, like if you're using it for data like Wi-Fi or whatever. but you can't. But like Wi-Fi, 5 gigahertz and 6 gigahertz, it really can't go through more than a room or two. It's not really but it's really fast when it's close to you. So you get all this extra radiation, but your speed is fast. Anyway, it's kind of a background. It's kind of a background in, just smart home and Wi-Fi and stuff like that. And anyway, more recently, the 2.4 gigahertz band, which became this open band. I mean, we're talking 20 years ago, maybe. But 2.4 was kind of the de facto standard, and everything used it. Like the first Apple airports used it. The little airport, like little flying saucer that they had initially, and that was like the only networking thing back then, pretty much. And I had a couple of them.
It was way before its time too.
Yeah.
It was and if I remember correctly, I think they were pretty large.
They were like this
access points, right?
Yeah, they were like a little flying saucer with a point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I have those anymore. I think I might have gotten rid of them. But anyway, so 2.4 was but it was also pretty slow, fairly slow compared to other protocols. And it had limitations as far as just other limitations. So then the 5 gigahertz came out maybe 10 years ago or more, and that was a lot faster, but less range. Anyway, but I think what happened was these things called IoT devices.
Internet of Things.
Is that what it is? IoT. Anyway. Yeah. They decided, since it was pretty much free and open to use the 2.4 gig Wi-Fi frequency, everything started using that. Like every single, like you pick up like a can of beans, and it's using 2.4. Just anything.
Exactly. Like all our Bluetooth speakers that we have laying around the house.
Yeah.
Anything
Everything used that. And you can imagine if you start having a lot of those things, it gets to be pretty trafficky and crosstalk, and everybody's it's kind of like being in a room and everybody's shouting, I want attention. And the poor little router, which is probably underpowered anyway, just can't listen to all these things at once. The 2.4 gigahertz band just got, in my opinion, it was just starting to be used for everything. Like, for example, my neighbor is one of the people designing this product called the Milo. And
why have I heard of that? Why have I heard of them?
It might be out in the market. It's a little. It's not that little actually. It's about this big, and it's a little walkie-talkie, right? It's just like a user-friendly walkie-talkie.
You did this in it, and then Skype puts in these hearts. I don't know if you see it on me right now.
Oh no, I don't. Oh, does it? Let me see. Oh, well, anyway.
So you go
just go like this. And then hearts come up?
Maybe.
Okay, well, I'm not recording my Skype feed, so.
Okay, good.
Anyway, So there's this thing called the Milo, and she's been working on it for years with a whole group of people. Anyway, it's a walkie-talkie, so instead of using radio signals, it uses 2.4 gigahertz signals, which I'm not really sure the difference, but it has little smarts in it where you can kind of recognize your voice and do different things. So, but that's an example of something that's using 2.4. And then all these security cameras are using 2.4.
Yep, exactly. Right? My Arlos are using 2.4.
Yeah.
My doorbell's using 2.4.
Exactly. Everything.
Yeah.
And I have these smart plugs.
Yes.
That are using 2.4 all over the house. I have smart light switches that are using 2.4.
Correct.
And so anyway, I literally probably have like 150 IoT devices going, listen to me, I got something to say. Okay, so you talked about mesh before.
Right.
So what's your idea of what mesh means?
So the idea that the reason why I liked it was because it was like, if you use this, their little access points, if you will, and you have them strategically placed around the house, they broadcast in a pretty wide circle. And if you have one strategically placed, the second one can overlap that first access point and then continue your coverage throughout the house. Okay. That was the reason why I got it for me.
Okay.
to kind of prevent some dead spots and stuff.
Yeah. So then you would have to switch your Wi-Fi to another Wi-Fi name or whatever. Because that's what I used. Yeah, that's what I used to do all over the house. And
yes.
So for example,
how many different names did you have, and all this kind of stuff?
I had a few different ones, and my wife Veronica was complaining that, well, why do I have to switch it when I go up to the garage or here? And I said, yeah, it's just not going to reach. So
because it's got to be that way. It's just got to be that way.
So then I searched for that, and the mesh thing came up, where all these different APs are using the same name. So your phone will just try to log into this other name, or this same name, and it'll be successful.
The same name, which is actually very convenient. If I may digress quickly.
Yeah.
So what I did when I got my mesh in the previous house that I lived in, I used that same network name. And so when I moved to the mesh, the naming convention kind of stayed the same.
Yeah.
So even though your internet service provider changed, you could still use the network name, which all your stuff just kind of recognizes and just picks up like that. So that was kind of neat.
That's an excellent aside. So I'm using the same name for all these internet networks. I have two, really, for like 20 years. Because I don't want to have to reprogram every single IoT device or other things. And they'll just look for that name and the password, and then they'll be able to log in. And so when you upgrade, that's a good advice. Just use the same name, even though it doesn't make sense.
You could be using where the current state you used to live as a name, but just keep it because it's easier.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yep. But anyway, this blinging is the continuity. iPhone just keeps going in and out. I don't know why. So if you hear the bling in the background, that's it.
I hear the bling.
It's this. Yeah. Apple's continuity system.
You know what's terrific is probably because it's trying to connect to my system and kick me off somehow, some way. I'm almost positive that's the reason why.
Anyway, so I was getting to this. Okay, so let me just show. I'll just give you an example of the stuff I have. Just not all of it, but just some of it. So I'm going to switch over to one of these monitors. This one here. Okay, so we're down in the corner. We can still talk.
Yep.
Okay, and you can see this. Okay.
Yeah.
So so a while back I was using this security camera system that was tied to my alarm system, ADT, and they were just really unreliable. And I think it was using 2.4 gigahertz, right? By the way, you're starting to get kind of fuzzy, but it's...
Yes. I know. I kind of saw some delay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. The audio seems fine. It's fine. We'll deal with it. You're really small in the frame now, so people can't tell.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm just not going to move very much, so that'll be
good. Is he frozen, or is it just him? So anyway, ADT pulse cameras use 2.4, but they're also all trying to connect. You can put these 2.4 repeaters everywhere, but the repeaters don't work very well. So it'll try to grab the Wi-Fi signal, whatever it's hearing, and then it'll try to retransmit it. But it does that with all the Wi-Fi signals, so it just becomes a big mess. So the repeaters don't work that well. And I tried those for years, and I was trying to get these security cameras to actually work, and I had a lot of them all over the house, and they were just really unreliable, and so I just decided to go for another system. And initially I had downloaded this app that actually allows your iPhones to be used as a webcam. So if you had old iPhones around, or if like this is what I do a lot when I'm in a hotel.
Yes.
And wanted to keep track of my dog, I would just set up my iPad, which I just have by my bedside or whatever. I just set it up as a security cam. So instead of bringing a security cam, I just set up my iPad to just face, on the floor facing my dog.
Awesome.
So stuff like that. So,
sure.
And then the company's called Alfred Cam. And Alfred Cam then started producing their own cameras, like actual cameras. In fact, let me just show you what one looks like. So this is what one of them looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And this one's actually they have two models. This is the outdoor one. So it's all kind of sealed up, and I've had these outdoor for a while. The thing that I love about these is that you can put an SD card inside them.
Oh, nice. So you can record locally to it if you need to?
Yeah, not only does it do like the security cam motion sensing thing. Come on, focus.
You gotta block your face. There you go.
Yeah. I should probably just set this A7 to not focus on my face. Just focus on objects.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, but anyway, so, and you cover it up with this. And I've had some of these outside forever. And they have a slightly cheaper version that's just indoor. But anyway, so I started building a collection of these. And the thing, too, is I like to film all this activity because I'm doing a lot of construction around the house. So I like filming all this stuff and the guys working. Or if I don't hear some sound, like, I want to see, if, like, what are they actually doing?
Right, exactly. So, are they gold bricking or something like that?
Are they milking it or calling their friends, watching YouTube or whatever? But but also, I also want to have all these big events like the concrete pours and stuff. I like to film all that stuff. Like I sent you a multicam version, like the 16 cam.
Yes.
16 camera version.
And are a lot I didn't get a chance to review it, but are a lot of those off the Alfred cams?
Yeah. Or the majority are.
Interesting.
So I have them set up. So it's kind of cool because it allows me to just record these things and then I can synchronize them because they have a timestamp on them. So the times are pretty close to each other. Second or two off. So anyway, annoying continuity blinging. Why? Just don't bling. Yours isn't blinging.
Mine. That would probably be the least of my problems for what I'm having today, but that's okay. You know?
So anyway, so I'll just show you. So I have all these cameras and all these power monitor things. So I'm going to show you an example of those two. So I'm going to switch over to this. So this is showing you one of my monitors, and right now I have this connected to a Chrome browser because Chrome seems to work better with these cameras than Safari. But these are all my cameras.
That's a lot of cameras.
Yeah. So for example, this one, it's not going to show much because there's not a lot of activity. It seems like the phone works way better than the computer to access things.
You know, I have noticed that a lot, and where the way they've optimized the mobile apps are really, really great, but then like desktop versions are just terrible.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that failed again. Oh, that's too bad. Anyway, for the last couple of days, the networking, even though it was great when I first installed all this new stuff, the networking is not as good anymore. Anyway, so maybe I'll have to get a different system. I'll have to redo it again.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's is that terrific when you're like anticipating like improving the situation? It's just worse than it was before. You should have just kept it.
Should have just kept it. That's always the most disappointing thing. But I'll show you one of the cams that's working really well on my phone, but not on the computer. So let me show you this. So this is an example of what's a little bit outside my house, and those are buckets of dirt. Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, is that a live feed right now? That's a live feed.
This is a live
looks
feed.
Great.
Yeah.
Looks great.
So so I can just kind of see what's going on occasionally, like especially if I'm not hearing noise or whatever.
Right.
And also sometimes I'll just see them kind of like not knowing what to do, and then I'll just go down and help them or suggest something.
Do your contractors and workers that are working around the house, do they ever turn towards the camera and go like this? and then you're supposed to bring them down some sort of box lunch or like some sort of soda crackers and water or something like that? Is that because that would be a great signal for you, right? If they're just saying
that would be good, but yeah, they probably wind up being pretty hungry because I'm not like a security guy in the casino. I'm not just standing in front of my screens watching for whatever. And so in addition to that, let me just show you another. I have all these because I have all the solar power and I'm just kind of geeked out on power. And so I started installing these solar power monitors. Not solar power, just regular power monitors and outlets in my house. And also I have a bunch of them inside my circuit breaker box. They're like little clamps that go around the wires that are going to each circuit. So I can monitor all the circuits.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to just, unfortunately I didn't log in beforehand, but I'm going to do that now. I'm going to show you all the different circuits that I have monitored and show you the power usage of this. So, okay, so I'm going to switch over to that screen. Okay. So it's called Emporia. The company's actually pretty cool. And they sell these little things you can just plug into the wall and then you can plug something else into it, but you can also combine that with the ones that's inside your circuit breaker panel. And so I don't know if you can see that too well, but yeah, I think you can see it, right? Yeah. So for example, I have something that's a dehumidifier, right? Okay. And it's not using anything. Right now we have total usage is 1700 watts, pretty low for me. For example, because I have my my computer stuff on, and you can see that down there, the server closet. Yep. So all my hard drives and stuff that are in my closet, including the internet stuff we're talking about now, is connected to the server closet UPS power plug. Okay. Yeah, and if I wanted to just cut off a connection right now, I could just click that and just totally destroy our connection and probably ruin my hard drives. So don't ever click that. Right.
Yeah. You should have a safety trigger on that, you know.
I should not allow power on and off on that.
Right. But right.
So you can see over here that I'm using 351 watts. Basically, this is 1 kilowatt. 1.0 would be 1 kilowatt. So this is 350. So this shows you throughout the house. So these are all these things. There's a lot of them. Look at how many. So a lot of these things are the IoT devices. So that combined with the cameras. And then anyway, so what was happening is that none of this stuff was working. Like literally these plugs were not, they would show, okay, you can see this one here. Actually, there is one that's offline. I don't know why. Come on back. Yeah, see this one here? It says North Garage Workbench. See how it says the cloud with a little slash through it? Sure, right. That means it's not connected to the internet. Yeah, right? That means it's for whatever reason wasn't able to log in. I'm not sure why. Yes. But I'll have to figure that out. So it still didn't connect. This is sorting by, I think, power usage, so it's what's jumping around. Anyway, so before I switched over my internet system, this was almost all these were not connected. And all my cameras were not connected. Pretty much nothing was working. Yeah. And then so I thought, okay, maybe it's not working, so I'm gonna get better deco units. So TP-Link deco was the mesh system I was using. And it worked pretty well.
I'm using that right now. Okay. I actually like it quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's actually really good if you don't have, 100 devices.
Yes. Yeah. You're exactly correct on that. Yes. Otherwise you gotta get the big ones that are like this huge, right?
That's what I thought. So I did get those.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And they're really somewhat unsightly, right?
Oh, yeah, they're pretty big and they don't fit anywhere.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And there's no way to disguise them. You can't put like a plant in front of it or anything.
Yeah. And they don't fit in normal spots.
Correct.
So I got those, set those up, thought maybe that would help because it actually has different kinds of antennas. There's this thing called MIMO, and it allows you to redirect their antennas and beam them in different directions and stuff. Right. So they supposedly were better than the smaller decos. Yes. Tried those, didn't really seem to work any better. Really spent a whole bunch of time.
Than the small ones that you originally had?
Yeah. Interesting. Just didn't work. So then I was just like, I even had tech support calls with the wonderful TP-Link people that, they're kind of the same people that want you to reset the parameter M on your Mac when anything goes wrong.
Reinstall the operating system.
Yeah. That actually don't know anything.
Right.
Anyway,
just move.
Yeah. So I was just reading some forums about people that are having issues with their decos, and there was one guy said, I just gave up on all of it and decided to go to Ubiquiti. And I don't know if you've heard of those or not. I'd never heard of them.
I've heard the name, but I don't I don't know what it is. Is it another like mesh Wi-Fi?
It's like TP-Link or whatever. It's a
Okay,
company
so it's competitor.
they make little. They actually make a whole set of things. They're actually more professional. They have really high-end gear.
Okay.
I think TP-Link probably does too. I think TP-Link has some versions that are similar to this. But anyway, I'm going to go to their website because I had them up here. Yeah. So, sorry. No, I can't see the OBS. Okay. So, I mean, they have tons of stuff. So they have these things which are basically router devices without the Wi-Fi in them, and they have something like this, which is actually has Wi-Fi in it. So this would be kind of the equivalent of one of the decos, right?
Yeah.
And they have these smaller units. The one that I ultimately want to get is this one, but the one that I wound up getting, it's not even on this list, but it kind of looks like this. It's called the Dream Machine. It's like one of their first ones. And so I just started looking into it, and then people really loved it. And they also have, let me see if I can show you.
Have you gotten it yet? Have you gotten it?
I got a ton of them.
Oh, you have gotten it.
I just went crazy. I actually got, sorry, let me just see where we are here. Okay. Yeah, so then they sell these, so you can buy these separate, they're not routers, but they're access points. Okay. And you can connect them via Ethernet cables, or some of them have mesh where you can actually just have them transmit wirelessly to each other to try to, so you don't have to wire up the whole house. I actually have pretty much the whole house wired on Ethernet. Yes. So I was okay to just put these in different places. But anyway, so
and then you connected each access point hardwired to the Ethernet.
Yes, through Ethernet to the router.
Right.
And then the router has a certain number of ports on it.
Right.
But then if you run out of ports, you have to get a switch. So right now I have my Dream Machine, which, let me see if I can just show you. This is like all of them. These are just access points, but it should show the Dream Machine. Anyway, let me do a search. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So this one has, it's a built-in Wi-Fi, okay Wi-Fi, and then a bunch of ports. Like this is the WAN port. This is what you would connect your internet service provider to. Like for me, I use AT&T, so I connect the AT&T modem into this thing, and then these go out to the various Ethernet that you have. In this case, I just have one going to a switch, and the switches are cool. The switches, let me just see. Yeah. So I have them all going into one of these, a 16 port switch.
Okay.
Yeah. And then from there, then they're going to other parts of the house.
So your AT&T, you said your internet service provider is AT&T, correct?
Right. It's fiber.
So that modem is going into this switch, and then you have everything else coming out of it throughout the house.
Right. Let me see if I can show you exactly. I'm going to go into my closet. I'm going to see.
I have something very similar to that. Very similar to that myself.
Okay.
But using the TP-Link.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I had before with the TP-Link as well, but I just totally switched it over to all Ubiquiti.
It's the same principle, I guess, with any kind of router switch thing that you want to do. But okay, let's review a little bit. Let's go back. Let's go, because I am using the decos and I'm using the TP-Link stuff. Let's summarize. Your problem was that you had too much IoT stuff sitting around the house, and the decos could not handle all that, all the simultaneous devices that you had going.
But I think it was just that their little brains can handle all that IoT stuff at once.
Correct. And in reality, the Deco stuff is really for residential usage. It's really for, kind of like normal house stuff. And, the headquarters of TechMove is much more than that, where it requires, 50,000 different IoT items running all at the same time. And so therefore the Ubiquiti stuff, that the Dream Machines and all those access points have the ability to maybe handle more or handle it a little bit better. Safe to say.
I think so. I think it has maybe the processor are better, and maybe the software is better to handle different things. But for whatever reason, it's just working. Like the second I put it in, and it's actually really easy to install.
Yeah,
they have an app on the phone as well as, because the Deco stuff's pretty easy to install. There's not much to it.
Correct.
And you can do a couple of different advanced settings, like you can set static IP addresses for things you don't want to change and stuff like that, which is good. And it has parental control stuff, which seems like it works okay. I've used it a little bit here and there. Yeah. But as soon as I plugged into the Ubiquiti stuff, everything just started working.
Oh, there was a noticeable difference.
It was like day and night. It was like 1% functionality versus 100.
That's awesome. So therefore, for you instantly, the cost, which is much more than a Deco, was worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it's probably gonna be, once I get everything done, because now I have 4 access. I have one outside, which I just connected, which is kind of fun, and then there's something called PoE, which is a power over Ethernet. So a lot of these devices run over PoE. So they have little switches that all you need to do is plug a Ethernet cable into it that has PoE on it. Their APs, their access points, those disks things, a lot of those run over PoE. So there's less complications with connections with those. You don't have to have a separate power connection. So anyway, so overnight, the internet experience as far as these cameras and all these power devices and all these internet switches, because now before things weren't even working. I'd click a switch and nothing happened. Or Alexa would be saying, the internet is unreachable right now. Try again later.
Very familiar with that phrase. One of my favorite phrases ever, right? That's one of my favorites. Yes.
So, I love that. It's just when
you get the little red light. And just boom.
Forever.
Right? It's just, I
even had one device that had that red light on, and Veronica was saying, is there a way to fix this? Because I use this all the time. Yes. Said, wait until I switch over to the new system, and then it'll start working, I hope. And it did. The red light went away.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah. So you're a big fan of the Ubiquiti equipment here, and for anyone who might have large amounts of IoT things in their house, this might be a great solution for you.
Yes. I think if you have a lot of IoT things, I was just going to show you an example of their software. I think you can see this pretty well. I'm going to get a little bigger. Yeah, so these are all the different devices I currently have now.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just going to maybe add one more. I might actually turn in the Dream Machine and get just a router that doesn't have the AP access points in it, and then get a separate access point for that, because I think the tech on the Dream Machine is kind of old. It came out like 5 years ago. So they have newer devices that are a little bit cheaper, that are a little more future proof, and I might trade it in for that, something like that. But you can see all these different things. So I have a little teeny switch in my bedroom entertainment center. I have the 16 port, which I just showed you, in my closet. That's a switch. I have another switch in my garage, because in my garage I actually have almost like another computer setup with all my solar power, because I have these little Raspberry Pi devices that are monitoring all my solar power. So I have a few of those different things. And so I have a lot of Ethernet up there. And then I have a living room entertainment center, which is another 8-port switch, because it's got Sonos, Apple TV, and all this crap on it. And then these are all the access points.
Right.
So the thing that I love about this is that it's a really quick internet web-based interface that shows you everything really quickly. Whereas the thing like the Deco, it doesn't really have much of a web page.
I agree with you. To actually monitor what is going on, you can do it, but you have to drill down so far in order to get there that it's almost not worth even looking for it, because it's just it's a little too hard to figure out.
Yeah, it's like just meant for plug and play. It's not much more than that. And And I think it's really good for what it is. It's simple. I don't want to knock the company, but I'm just so happy with the stuff. So I'm just giving an example. These are all the clients I have.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I'll also raise the flag for TP-Link and the Deco system, where for someone like myself, it works really well. You just need so much more advanced features on it. That this sounds like a really, really great thing. The TP links, I think are priced really, really nicely. Yeah. And do a really great job for what they do.
Yeah.
But your Ubiquiti stuff, this just takes it. The monitoring that you can do just looks terrific.
Yeah. And let me see if I can actually show you something that's pretty cool. I'm gonna choose one. So some of the access points actually have spectral analysis.
Oh, right.
So this is something that you actually would have to spend a whole bunch of money on with a separate device to actually do. Yeah. And it's actually analyzing now, but it actually shows you just what kind of traffic is going out there in the airwaves. And I really actually love this feature.
That's pretty nice.
I think after maybe like the first couple times you use it, then it's like, okay, it's just a bunch of mountains. But
it's a nice histogram. It's a nice histogram. Let me turn up my white balance a little more here.
Yeah. But you can see like this is the 2.4 gig band, and you can see that like 6 is actually pretty crowded right now.
Yeah.
And if you look, this is the waterfall. So this is kind of just showing you what the history of it is. So in this case, 6 through 11 is pretty bad. And even channel 1's not great, but it's better than 6 through 11. So this kind of shows you like where to avoid. And the thing too about this stuff is it automatically will switch gears every night to try to figure stuff out. It'll say, okay, this access point's on channel 1. Maybe I should switch to channel 6. Stuff like that. Anyway, so that's my little. This segment has been sponsored by Ubiquiti.
or it hasn't yet, but Ubiquiti, please give us a call anyway.
Call us, Ubiquiti.
So, right. You can find them at ui.com.
That's right.
Is the URL. It's a really nice website. So terrific. Excellent. Well, Keith, I'm actually happy that you upgraded to this system. Even though it hasn't helped my personal connection whatsoever. But I'm certainly glad that your connection is working like Fort Knox. So that's fantastic. That's great. That's a great report.
Thank you.
All right, terrific. Hey, let's take a quick break and and we'll come back with more of this type of fun stuff here on TechMove. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It is the great revisiting of NAB 2024. Now in 2025, here we are. Because you know why? TechMove is the way TechMove is, and that's how we do things around here. It's Rod Louie and it's Keith Moreau over on the other side, and we want to move on with NAB 2024 and a really neat and still relevant interview that Keith was able to have with the folks over at Blackmagic Design. And this is really, really great. We were able to catch up with Blackmagic's Bob Caniglia. And he, at this particular point now, I think the camera has been out. Is that right, Keith, at the time?
No. Actually,
the camera was not out?
In 2024 at NAB, the camera... whatever we saw was just the demo units they had for the show. Nobody had
almost like prototypes type of thing.
Yeah, probably like final prototypes.
Okay,
Yeah.
just to fast forward, folks, the camera is actually out and about right now.
Yeah.
However, this is still very interesting because Bob Caniglia is going to be talking about the Blackmagic design Ursa Cine 12K LF camera. And this is a major thing that they're about to at that time they were about to release it. And so our man on the streets, Keith Moreau, was able to catch up with him and talk about the Ursa Cine 12K LF. So let's roll to that interview right now. Again, Blackmagic's Bob Caniglia, along with our very own Keith Moreau, right here on TechMove.
We're here today at the Blackmagic Design Extravaganza. They have a bunch of brand new products. Bob Caniglia.
Yeah.
Caniglia.
There you go.
Bob Caniglia is going to introduce us to a couple brand new cameras, and then we're going to go on and talk about Resolve. Bob.
Hello.
Hello.
Here we are.
Here we are.
So this is our first new camera. It's called the Pyxis 6K. So the Pyxis 6K is a new design for us. It features the 6K full frame sensor that we introduced a few months ago with the Blackmagic Cinema Camera 6K. So it's a full frame sensor. Now it's available in 3 different lens formats. So you can buy it with an L mount, a PL mount, or an EF mount.
Okay.
And what you have here is a box camera, but it's I call it an augmented box camera because we also included a monitor, so you have a video assist station, your camera assistant station here.
Mm-hmm.
You can get through all the menus, make it easy on yourself.
Okay.
It has the ability to rig one of our new EVFs. This is our Ursa Cine EVF that you can use with this. It has CF Express ports in the back, so you can record there. You can also record with a USB-C drive, and we even include a mount here that you can add to it, so you can hold the SSD drive on the side. And we have an optional rosette mount, so you can mount all kinds of things. And we're sure that people are going to get very creative with what they mount to it. But the thing about it is you're recording Blackmagic RAW and proxies at the same time. It has the USB-C port on the back that you could attach a cell phone to or use the 10 gig Ethernet port. And now you can send files to our Blackmagic cloud service so that people can pull them down and start editing when they're sharing projects. So this way you're getting the footage to people as soon as possible, right? You have a microphone and headphone jack in the back. There's also a mini XLR port here for another microphone if you want. It has some built-in microphones as well. And the body itself in any of the mounts is $29.95. They'll be shipping shortly. So yeah, it's a good price for what you're able to do. And we can't wait to see what the rigs are that people put with them. But we've given them a great box camera that they've been asking for. But we feel like we've given them a few extra features that they weren't looking for.
That's great. So the sensor, I don't know if I'm familiar with the 6K you mentioned. I have a Pocket 6K.
Right.
What's the difference in sensors?
This is a full frame sensor, so
Got it. Okay.
it's a 35 millimeter full frame sensor.
Okay.
That's why we have the L mount, because you can take advantage of the full frame of the sensor.
Okay.
It has an OLPF filter on it.
Okay.
But in order to do ND filters, you can use it when you box it out, and when you rig it all out, you can use filters there.
Okay.
The sensor and the mount are too close to add them on this body.
Okay.
But again, this is a small, lightweight body. It's 3.3 pounds as the body. But we really look forward to seeing how people rig them out.
Looks really cool. I think this is filling out your lineup.
Right, and that's the thing. With Blackmagic Color Science, 5th generation Color Science, no matter which camera you're using, you can match into them. But this one gives you a great form factor to shoot in small spaces or make it a really big rig with lots of, other attachments to it, like monitors and things like that.
That's really cool.
Totally.
Great.
All
Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, so in this camera, like I said, it's Blackmagic RAW, but we also have added, DaVinci Resolve 19 now has some great new AI tools that really go well with the new cameras. So,
Really?
when you shoot 6K, you can frame for 4K, and you could use the stabilization tools to make it look like you have a Steadicam. So it's very clever. Yeah. So
Because of the metadata that's gyro metadata. that's
exactly, gyro
okay.
metadata is in there, and
Okay.
makes it much easier. And we have this new IntelliTrack AI that's in Resolve that can really be used to do some great things across several different tabs in Resolve. So
Wow.
DaVinci Resolve license comes with the camera, and they'll be shipping soon.
Wow. And does that feature that you're talking about apply to any of the other cameras you offer besides this one?
Yeah, the IntelliTrack AI that's in the software is there to use on any image, really, regardless. Now you get better controls when you have the gyro information from the cameras, obviously.
Okay.
But, yeah.
So some of the newer Blackmagic cameras have that.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct, including the new one behind me.
Okay.
Shall we
Should
go
talk
over to it?
about that?
Yeah.
Do you want to move or do you want? We're gonna
gonna
go
move
do
this
one.
way.
Yeah.
So we created this new camera, which we call the Ursa Cine 12K. New design from the ground up. It has a similar look to the Ursa Mini, but this is a completely different design, and it has some features that, what we tried to do here was put every idea that anybody wanted to ever put in a camera and see if we could make it happen, regardless of what it came out to be. And this is where we are. I mean, it has a 12K sensor that has 16 stops of dynamic range. It's a different sensor than our original 12K camera, so it's a new sensor. It has motorized ND filters, so that's built in as well. There's an OLPF filter on the sensor itself.
Okay.
You'll see these antennas here. That's because it has built-in Wi-Fi, so you can send the images directly from the camera, link it through the Blackmagic cloud service. You can also tether a cell phone if you have connectivity that way, and there's a 10 gig Ethernet port as well. This is a new design of our camera monitor because it'll flip around.
Oh, that's
right.
cool.
So
I like
it's
that.
fully articulating, and what you'll also see is that this is our storage. So the media that we have here is new, and this module here can be brought and put into one of our new docks.
Okay.
So this is an 8 terabyte, and we'll have an 8 terabyte and a 16 terabyte. It comes with one 8 terabyte.
Okay.
And this module, as I say, goes right in here, and it clicks in.
Okay.
The media, though, because you have a 10 gig Ethernet port, you could pull the media straight off the card without actually removing the card as well. So it can work in whatever type of situation that best fits your use case.
So do you need to have your dock? The only way to use this camera is with that media, or there are different ways to use?
You can always plug in a USB-C drive on there, so you could use that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. The reason we chose that media is that it can keep up with the frame rates and the sizes, right? So you can record everything. And on an 8 terabyte, you can get 4 hours of 12K, so it's really great. On this side, you have this monitor. It's another assist station monitor, and it's really great. So you can do focus, pulling, and access all of the different. You can do the slate. So it frees up. So it's this way. The camera assistant can be on this side, not on the other side, and still have full range. So that's something that's a little bit left over from our original big Ursa camera by having multiple screens on that.
Yeah.
This is, as I mentioned earlier, this is our new Ursa Cine EVF. And when we sell the camera, you can buy it with or without the EVF in a package.
Oh, okay.
And the mounts are EF mount, PL mount, and LPL mount.
Okay.
So interchangeable mounts. And it really is a new design for us, but it has so many different features that people have been asking for, and we're really excited to get it in people's hands.
So 12K is amazing because you can crop in and get different subjects, but I'm kind of concerned about how much data it's going to be using.
Right.
What's the lowest amount you can get, lowest terabytes per hour or something like that?
I mean, on this one, you can get 4 hours on this 8 terabyte drive. You get 4 hours of 12K on it. So, that should really be enough. But also, if you have the 10 gig Ethernet port, you could just record to a cloud store or something like that.
Okay.
So, and also, because Blackmagic RAW is very efficient, the size of the files are much smaller than most people think they would be because of the way that we're able to do that.
If there's not that much movement, like it's an interview or something.
Exactly.
It's a lot more efficient. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so it really is pretty efficient. It's an efficient codec, and you're also getting proxies at the same time, so that's great to edit with. And then when you do the final grade, then you can use the full Blackmagic RAW files.
What if you don't want to record 12K with it? Can you record it at a lower res?
So yes, so actually you can record 9K, 8K, 4K, so it doesn't matter. But when you shoot those resolutions, you're getting the full sensor it's not a cropped in, it's a full sensor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so how is it actually, is it somehow de-resing or how is it changing the resolution?
So you're able to use the full sensor, but it knows what to use from the sensor in order to generate that. So it's not a zoom in per se. It's
not like a line skipping or something.
No. And what's interesting about it is that we designed the sensor with what we wanted to do. So that way we were able to get those kind of features because that's what we set out to design, and we did that. And we're actually showing a tech display of a 17K sensor for 65 millimeter for IMAX. And so we have a demo out under glass to show people where we're going. And so that's like another roadmap item that not normally something we do, but we wanted to show it this time. And we have the sensors out there so you can see the difference between a 12K, the new 12K, and this new 17K sensor.
I'll check that out. So I noticed the antennas, and you're mentioning it does Wi-Fi. So is that sending the video signal out to monitor it, or what?
It can be used for monitoring or sending the files through the Blackmagic cloud service.
So what would be a typical scenario of using this as a transmitter? What would be the receiver and?
Sure. So we have some new 2110 products that you can take like a 10 gig Ethernet signal and then turn it into HDMI or SDI so you can monitor it.
Okay.
But the cloud service is just sending it through the cloud service so they can pull down the raw and the proxies, or just the proxies, depending on how you send out the media.
Do you know what would be compatible with the Wi-Fi that this is? Like, could you monitor on an iPhone, or could you monitor in some app, or
I don't think that
some type of receiver?
Yeah, I don't think we have gone down that path yet, but you never know.
Okay, so right now it's mostly for internet access.
It's for internet access to move the files through the cloud service.
Okay. Cool. Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I'll just say that the body itself is 15,000, and then with the viewfinder included, it's around 16,700 or somewhere around there. Yeah.
It seems like an amazing deal, actually.
I mean, it's expensive for Blackmagic, but not necessarily compared to others. But it really is very feature packed, and so far the reactions have been great.
It looks great. I looked at it. I like the body style. Even though it's similar to the others, it's a little bit more refined.
Yeah.
I like it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was nice to be able to they got to start from scratch and take what they like and adjust things, and it really worked out well, I think. Yeah.
That's great. Okay.
All right.
So I guess we're done with this.
Thanks.
The hardware segment, and then we can go to the
talk about software. So I'll tell you what, he's recording. If we can go around and all right, when they come this way, we'll steal.
We can loop around easily.
I'll take the Resolve panel, and we can talk about Resolve, and then I can show the new panel.
Okay, great.
All right. Oh, good. They moved.
Here, I'm going to grab this.
We're going to switch this way.
That's good. I'm going
Leaving
nowhere.
You're coming this way?
No, I'm going this way.
Yeah. That's why we're coming this way.
Go this way.
We're gonna.
Yep, here we go.
We're gonna move this way. So I'll do this. I'll do the same trick I did before.
Okay.
Wait till you see this. It's gonna be great.
We're doing good? Okay.
All right. So, DaVinci Resolve 19 went out in beta the other day.
Okay.
And it features over 100 new items there. A lot of new AI tools.
Okay.
Blackmagic had a neural engine for years now, and now that AI is a buzzword, we're trying to let people know what devices, what features are now AI based. So there's this new IntelliTrack AI that we are using that actually is used in separate tabs in the software. Like it's in the Fusion page, it's in the color page, it's in Fairlight. And in the Fairlight page, it's really clever. One of the things you can do is to pan, let's say a jet flies across the screen and you want the sound to pan across, right? Normally that's done with some keyframes and you're kind of guessing. This, you lock the image with with the actual tracking. As it tracks across, it does the panning for you so that it matches perfectly. So it's not like guesswork, right?
That's cool.
It's great because it gives people a way to work faster and get better results than having to keyframe all the time. And it does it itself. It's very clever. We have other things where you can actually track multiple points on the same image just by selecting them, and then it just does it automatically. So you're not keyframing things. So it's very clever the way they've done it. But one of the things that we introduced a couple years ago was the iPad app for Resolve. So you can use the color page in Resolve. But one of the things that you don't have is one of these. So we just came out with this new micro panel. Okay, so the DaVinci Resolve micro panel, you can fit your iPad right here. Okay, but it connects Bluetooth. So Bluetooth to the iPad or Bluetooth to your Resolve station, whatever. And it has, great trackballs. It has all the key features that you would have on the larger panel. But this is very portable. It has a battery. You can use it for a long time and put it in your bag. If it fits in your arm, you can put it in your backpack and take it on set, things like that. We're also delivering them in 15 languages. So the keycaps, right, can be, so you can purchase it in French and German and Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, Korean, there's a whole list of them. The English version will be out shortly, and then from there the other languages will follow. It's $495
good deal.
list price, and as I say, it's got some nice heft to it. The trackballs really feel nice. A lot of the colors that use the big panels are like, ooh, I want one of these too, so I can have it with me all the time. So it's really clever. Yeah, you should try it out. It's very clever.
Okay, I'm going to try the same thing.
Yeah.
Feels pretty solid.
Yeah.
Feels nice.
Yeah. They spent a lot of good time on this one and created their own buttons and whatnot because they didn't like the feel of certain things, and they came out, and then like I said, multiple languages, which is something that was kind of neat to see.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if you want more information, go to blackmagicdesign.com.
And is this available now?
Yeah, they'll be shipping shortly.
Okay.
Yeah. The English will roll out first, and then the other ones will be right behind it. So I think we'll see them very, very shortly.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool. All right.
And do we have anything else? DaVinci Resolve.
So, the Resolve had the new AI tools that I talked about before, right? So there's like over 100 different things in there.
Okay. What are the high points?
Right. So the new AI tools that cross-platform, like I said, in the Fusion page, the audio page, the color page. We have some new edit to text, so you can edit to a text, to the words, so that you can go right to scenes based on editing with the words. Last year we did the deriving text from sound. Now we're editing to text, so it's the next step in that. So yeah, there's so many different things in there. There's a new 6-point color levels that you can do, changing the color bitmap. There's a great new AI tool where, so for instance, there's a 2-shot of us and we want to defocus the background without messing with the front. It generates the matte for you, and then you have level controls to do the blur behind, so you can create depth of field without having to do keyframing.
So I had a question about that, because I thought that would be pretty cool. For example, with this video, this is a really small sensor. It has no depth of field unless we put it into the fake portrait mode, but or cinematic mode.
Right.
But I think, like with the iPhone, it can even make things that are farther away blurrier than things that are closer.
Correct.
So does it work similarly in this?
Yeah, because what we're able to do is we generate the matte. Once you designate the two people, then it generates the matte of everything else, and then from there you have level controls of how much blur you want, which gives you that spatial depth.
Okay. And do you know if, okay, for example, it's cutting us out, and then this is a little bit farther here.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a little bit blurrier.
Right.
And then that's a little bit farther.
So you could actually add so that you have different levels of you could add another matte to be able to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's great ways to speed up a process so that you're working more on the story and less on each individual keyframe.
So I wonder if that's ever going to just replace big sensors. Like it's going to be that smart where you can actually make it have fake depth of field that's convincing.
Well, the thing about the big sensor is that you capture so much more information, and that's where you really want to get into it. So you want it, like for instance, on a 12K, you can get 11 4K images out of it.
Oh yeah.
So that's something you're not going to get from the smaller sensor.
Right.
But if you are using a smaller sensor, then you can give it some of that depth of field that you aren't getting from the bigger ones. But yeah, I think that they all work in conjunction, And
you don't want to eliminate your big sensor cameras.
I don't think that. Personally, I don't think that the directors and DUPs are going to be like, yeah, we're not doing that. Let's use a bigger sensor, and because more is great because you can make it look the way you want it, but you don't want to miscapture because you're using something that was too small.
Yeah, and physics has a limit.
It's funny how that works, but yeah.
It's like there's only so much light you can get into a teeny little space.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So, that's why we're still developing larger sensors. I'm getting attacked by a fly. We can take that out. I don't know where that came from. But yeah, I think that, especially because the sensors that we're creating now, I think, are going to produce such great images that people are going to really adapt to it. And, it's all about the sensor design with the Blackmagic RAW codec plus Resolve. And, we were able to use all of it together to create what we have. So,
do you have, out there, do we have examples of the 12K sensor on a monitor that we can?
We have one right behind you right now. There's a reel that we shot.
Oh, that one? Okay.
Yep. And there's others too. And then we actually have the physical sensors, so you can actually see what they look like. So it's also kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some good footage online now that we are showing now on our site that we're done. They went out to Joshua Tree in the desert and shot some cool stuff. And there's a behind the scenes video too to show you what they were using.
Wow. Okay. We'll check that out when the time comes. These other cameras that you talked about, are they available?
So very shortly. Yeah.
Okay.
They're coming out June time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great. I remember the days when it was much longer than that.
Yeah. Well, that's why we didn't give a date for the 17K. And
Okay.
Yeah. We're trying to stick closer to the timeline, but in certain cases, it's like a problem with there was a problem with the sensor originally that we got some and then they weren't done correctly. We had to wait, but I think we had things lined up pretty well this time.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
I really appreciate the interview. You guys have been
pleasure.
great.
Thank you.
We're going to sign off for now.
Okay. Bye, all.
Bye, all.
All right, Keith, another successful one. Another great interview from NAB 2024 that we're debuting in 2025. I love saying that. That was the great Bob Caniglia with Blackmagic Designs and our very own Keith Moreau, where, again, they were talking about the Ursa Cine 12K LF. Now, of course, pretty much about a year has transpired since that interview. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Keith has a little show and tell for us that we're going to move into that we previously recorded. But this is really interesting here. So let's take it back to just, I don't know, a few hours ago when we did this video. But this will be very interesting. And this is another segment here on TechMove. All right. Hey, welcome back back to Tech Move. Rod Louie, Keith Moreau here, and we have another exciting segment for you right now. We always love these types of things because so many things can go wrong, so many things can go right. Usually not, but here, this is going to be fun. This is Tech Move Show and Tell Day. Keith has a really big surprise to show us. This is something that I think he just received, but yet he has not really broke it open yet or even plugged it in. If it does get plugged in, we don't know if it's a new puppy. We don't know if it's if it's dinnerware or whatever. But it could be one of these things. But Keith, why don't you take it away and set us up with the thing that you want to share with us?
Okay. All right. So I got this box. I'm going to switch over to a different camera here.
Okay.
I have a lot of presets here, so let me see. Okay. So this is just my kind of makeshift desk and product.
Right. Is that a piano chair? Is that a piano chair?
Yeah, it's a piano bench.
Nice. Very good.
And this is going to be important to the product unboxing.
Can you put it back on the piano bench so that we can? Yeah, there you go. That's what we want to see. Oh, okay. Oh, it's cabling. Okay.
Yeah, so this is going to be important.
Okay. It looks like some sort of either remote trigger or some sort of HDMI delivery thing or something.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Could be something like that.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So that is fairly important to this particular thing.
Yes.
Good. This is going to be great.
So, let's see.
Looks heavy.
So this is the box that comes in. This is actually what it came into. No printing, no anything.
So did the delivery person just drop it off just like that, or was there
there was an outer box? But
okay, there was an outer box.
But it's very surprising how nondescript, no marketing materials or anything. Doesn't seem that professional.
So was it fairly protected within the box?
Yeah, it's pretty well protected. It seemed fine.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, how much would you say that box weighs?
Maybe 10 pounds.
Wow. Yeah.
Maybe less. Good. Maybe less.
It's quite a thud. Well, we could probably safely say 5 to 10, somewhere between 5 to 10 pounds.
I'm gonna maybe go from above a little bit more here.
That looks good.
I wanted to not have my Birkenstocks in here. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's good. Oh boy, this is exciting.
So I'm kind of this. If I showed you this, it might give it away. But
I can't tell. We can't tell a thing because the glare from the sun is blocking that, so we can't see.
You can see now.
My vision is terrible. I cannot see it. You're gonna have to bring it to the camera. I have a great idea of what I think this could be. Oh.
Okay.
All right, break it open. Let's take a look.
All right.
So, Keith, this actually probably means you need to get an extension of the desk that you've got, right? I mean, because if this is what I think it is, you don't have any room on that desk whatsoever for this thing.
Ooh, you could probably see something.
Oh yeah, I see. I see something here.
Okay, see if I can actually get it out. It's so big and heavy.
Okay, good luck.
Oh, here's something that's really important. We're actually just talking about networking.
Yes.
So,
in one of our previous segments, yes, we were talking about networking. Oh, an antenna. I love it. Yes, exactly. I'm sure you hardly have 25 of those things laying around somewhere.
I could take them off some of my old networking gear.
Yeah, our old D-Link routers that we used to have.
Yes. That are worth $5 now.
Right, exactly. Okay,
out.
Here we go. Wait a minute. All right. Oh. Wow, look at that thing. Wow. Okay,
So-
got to give us like the full for those of us who can't even begin to look at equipment like that. Give us the full, start from the very top.
Okay.
Model, brand, features. Give us the whole highlight, please. You got
Okay.
to do this for us.
I think I'm gonna just change the angle a little bit here.
Okay.
All right. This is not working too well. Okay.
I think it was better before.
You was better before at an
Yeah.
angle.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't really need the overhead because you should really be lifting it up to us.
All right. I'll lift it
There,
up.
yeah, that's good. That's good
better?
right there. I think
Okay.
that looks great right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is on its side right now.
Yes.
So this is the somewhat new, and this is actually in this segment. We're probably going to play my interview with the Blackmagic people at the last NAB.
Okay.
Because we're about to go to the next NAB, the 2025 NAB. But in
Yes.
the 2024 NAB, they showed this camera, and when the guy was talking about it, Rob or Bob, from Blackmagic, he was talking about this, and he was saying, "Oh, this is amazing! It's got this and this, and it's got this, and it's $15,000."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was going, okay, well, that's really cool, and that seems like a really amazing camera, but I don't think I'm going to get that one.
Yeah.
So
at 15 grand, that's pretty much over a lot of folks' budgets.
right. So just recently, okay, so this camera is the Blackmagic Cine 12K LF. That's the model.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And so this camera officially has been out a little less than a year, maybe like 9 months, because they didn't release it right away. They doled them out, kind of trickled them out over the last year.
Yeah.
But recently, like in the last month, they didn't lower the price, but they sold a kind of stripped down version. It's not really stripped down. It's still the same camera, but all the stuff that you would normally get for it, like, well, I found this out recently, the power supply, the back plate to add a battery is not there. And I think they included a few other things, like they included a really nice shoulder mount kind of plate on the bottom and some stuff on the top. So, and they also included a different way to store the footage. So there's two different ways to store the footage. They first came out with their own memory module, which came with it, and it was an 8 terabyte memory module, because this thing eats up data. Because it's 12K.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah,
12K
raw. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So they had this 8 terabyte. Honestly, I don't even know how this works. This is the first time I've even touched this thing. So, but I think, okay, so this goes like this. Oh yeah, it comes out, and so this is actually a CFast card caddy. So instead of coming with the 8 terabyte one, it comes with a CFast caddy, which doesn't allow you to record at all the different rates, but it allows you to at least use it. And probably I'll wind up not even needing the 8 terabyte unit. So
how many CFast cards can it hold in there? It makes it sound like you can hold like more than 2.
Yeah, it holds.
Oh, it's 2.
Yeah, it's just
excellent.
2. Yeah, and so
Excellent.
that's why some of this other stuff, these things I got are going to be helpful to me. So I got 2 of these.
Okay,
Now,
great.
they're not that expensive, and they're pretty fast. These are 3,500 megabits per second. 37, so really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, it has to be, right, for 12K.
Yeah, but even this might not be fast enough. I think for the highest rate you might need like 4,000. But we'll see what happens. We're not gonna maybe do it in the episode, but I'm gonna test it out and see what happens.
Right. You will have to test that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna put this back in. But one thing that I realized when I ordered this, because I was so excited to order it, I actually had it in my cart at B&H for like a day, saying, "Do I really want this?"
Yeah.
And then I called the credit card company saying, "When do I actually get billed for this? If I want to return it, I have this huge snafu with B&H's credit card company because I get really good deals. It's basically 10% off if I buy through them. But when I returned stuff, I returned it just a little bit after the billing point.
Okay.
So it was credited back to the account, but then the credit card company, which is Comneti Bank, they weren't able to like transfer the money to me like through my bank account, even though I paid them through my bank account. So I had to go through like a month-long process to get a refund.
Oh.
And it was a lot because I had bought a whole bunch of stuff in December and decided to return most of it. It was like $13,000 or something. So I had to wait like 2 months for that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and then there's interest payments that you have to think about and all this kind of stuff, right?
Well, not for something that's credited back.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just a matter. They already know that
you just got to get it back, and then it's got to hit the right billing cycle.
So I had to get 2 checks and everything. Right. So anyway, but yeah, it was annoying. But so this, they originally it was like $15,000, which is really expensive.
Yeah.
And although a great camera, I mean, even at 15K, it's really excellent. So for whatever reason, recently they just offered this stripped down version where they don't offer anything extra other than the camera, and they include they include the CFast caddy, not CFast, CF Express.
CF Express.
Yeah, there's all these CFast.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so much. But anyway, so I think I got it for $7.
What? So essentially half off.
Yeah,
right?
half off, like kind of like less than half off. It was amazing. So at $7, then it becomes actually kind of maybe worth getting.
Sure.
So anyway, so I decided to get it. Amazing image quality. Supposedly, I looked at all the, reviews and stuff, but I've never even powered it on. And another thing about it is that to get the full resolution, you have to use something called a B mount. B like boy, not a V mount. V like Victor. So the V mount batteries, which is like this one here. Almost dropped it. This so this is the V mount system. So this is a pretty big battery.
Yeah,
so
that is huge.
Yeah, it's really heavy.
Huge.
Yeah, so you combine all this, you're going to have a heavy system. But the V mounts only go up to I think 18 volts, and this to get the full usage out of it, I think it needs like 24 or 28 volts. So you can put these on there is a V mount, V like Victor mount for this. But supposedly if the voltage isn't enough, it's not going to be able to record in certain modes. So, but we're gonna.
So you are actually even though you bought this thing for $7,000, which is a great price for the camera itself, to kind of get it to where you could possibly want it to be, you're going to have to invest a little bit more dough.
Yeah, I mean, I've already invested. Like, for example, I got this camera. I got this cable.
Right.
So this is the one thing I figured. Okay, well, I'm gonna if I want to even power this on for the show, I'm gonna have to have something to power it. so this is how we're. So there is a and actually, if you buy the expensive version, it comes with a power adapter, an AC power adapter, but this one doesn't. It's like you're on your own.
Okay.
So this one has a little power port.
And so what kind of power cable is that you're about to break open now? So
it's
so it fits into this into this input.
Yep. And it's supposedly an Arri style power connector. So they decided
that camera's going to fall. That camera's going to fall. No? Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
Right. Right. Just to be safe.
All right. So I'm opening up the thing. This is a little awkward. We'll have to figure a better system for me to unbox. I'm gonna like lean over.
Right.
Okay. All right. So this is the power, and this goes into a D-tap. Do I have a D-tap? Does this have a D-tap? Darn, it doesn't have a D-tap. But I think I have a D-tap. I think I have a converter. I'm not even sure if I've used this before, but I'm hoping this works. So this is a little plate that I got. I don't know if I've even used the D-tap output, but supposedly I can plug this cable that I got into this.
Yeah.
From this battery. So let's see what happens.
Okay. So. Hopefully it works. Otherwise, it's a really lovely unboxing video, but we don't know if it really works.
Okay, so we're gonna try to get this in. Did I get it in? It isn't. It's not very. Sorry. Trying to get this thing into this battery.
I smell another $200 investment here on a new bracket.
I think it's in. In.
All right.
Okay, so I think it's
Fire
in.
it up. Let's try it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's the. It says 14 point something volts output, so I'm gonna plug that in
Okay.
here. Awkward.
Yeah. Does it even fit?
Got it in. Okay.
All right, great. Wonderful.
All right, so
Now do you now you connect the other end to the camera itself.
yes, this is a
So,
very
wow,
kludgy way to do this.
Talk about a power brick. This is this is a whole new level of power brick.
Okay, got power.
All right.
The moment of
Good
truth.
luck.
This is
Good
even
luck.
the right cable.
Good luck. Hopefully you don't fry the thing before.
I know. Like the first time I
gets
plugged it in, I just fried
Right.
it. Trying to figure out this cable.
Yeah.
I was looking at it, trying to figure out
Right.
where do I plug this in. But there's like a little detent there. So, okay.
Okay.
So that
Oh, there you
plugged
go.
in.
All right. All right. All right.
No, all of a sudden, my printer decided to do its cleaning cycle. So you hear that background. Okay.
Great.
All right. So maybe I'll just.
Now
do
is
this.
that's a flip out screen? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. And you know what's really cool is it has another screen on the other side. It's got two
Oh,
screens.
wonderful.
So if you have like a director or something that wants
Yes.
to watch, they can just watch on the other side.
Wonderful.
Or if you have a focus puller,
Yeah.
they can do the stuff on the other side. And it has a really cool focus interface where it actually shows you the focal length of the lens and stuff. Anyway, okay, power switch. Okay,
Where
here it
is
is
it?
right here.
Where is it?
It's right here.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's see what
All
happens.
right. Good luck.
Oh, the fan's coming on.
Oh, there. Oh, I see something.
It's upside down, but it's fine.
Is it upside down? I can't
Yeah.
tell.
I'm not sure why it's upside down. Probably shouldn't be, but let me. Yeah, it's on. It's giving me that initial screen. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on this camera.
There you go.
And
There you go.
Let me set the exposure down a little bit.
Ah, that looks great. Yeah. That looks great.
Still a little over. There we go. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna choose English.
Good choice.
Okay. Cool. Looks like a typical Blackmagic screen. So, it's working.
Congratulations. That is so okay. Let's get back to the brass tacks of things, right? Like the price. How
Yes.
much more money do you think you have to invest for this to actually be workable for you?
So the only thing that I really need to do is spend maybe another, and I already even pre-ordered it. Let me get this back to the normal exposure here. Actually, let me get back to a wider viewpoint. So the only thing that so one of the things that there's a couple YouTube people that have tried to trick this out and done things with it. I personally, because I have a lot of rigging gear, I don't think I'm gonna need to get too much more rigging gear for this. This plate up here is enough for me to screw whatever I need to.
And those are all quarter 20s, right? So
No,
I mean,
there's
they're not.
There's a bunch of 3/8, but I have 3/8 adapters if I need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But it looks like you could put like the universe on that thing.
Yeah.
So
And I have a bunch of universal Swiss plates that have a bunch of holes in them. So I'll just attach that to here, and then I can mount whatever. And they'll come out with some kind of inexpensive cage in a while, probably. They haven't yet. But so the back plate's $100. Maybe a power supply that isn't just me connecting to a battery. This was $49 for the cable.
Okay.
Or $50.
So what is a power supply for
this
that?
one?
For that unit.
I think it's like 100. But let me just see. I'm gonna go to B&H and check it out.
And it's just wall plug into that thing.
Yeah, that would be like to power by a wall outlet, which is pretty common if you're doing like for this type of thing. You'd probably be in a situation where it's like a sit down interview. So you
sit down interview, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's one of the things I would use this for.
Yes.
So let me just see what we have here. So let me see. I'm gonna type in Blackmagic
12K.
Cine 12K power supply. Okay, it's 200.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I guess I'll be adding that to the cart. But that's not too bad.
And you know what? That's a much smaller power brick than what you're doing right now.
Yeah, and also this will run out. Yeah. At some point, in an hour or two.
Fairly quick.
Probably like 2 hours, maybe.
Well, that's not bad.
It's not bad. I mean, I'm not positive.
That would be a good backup, though.
Yeah, and then one of the things I did, I'm going to just show you my Amazon cart. It's something I thought I was going to get it, hopefully get it today, but let me just see. I'm going to show you what I actually ordered, which is supposed to help with this issue with the 24 volt issue.
Yes,
is this thing here. So this is actually meant for a lighting company. I don't know why they have their main picture upside down, but it's that's how cheap the company is. It's just no. Nanlight is a lighting company, and actually I have a bunch of their stuff. But they have this thing where you can plug in a 14 volt battery into it, like this one.
Yeah.
And you can then plug this into a V mount on the other side, and it bumps it up to 28 volts.
Oh, whoa! That's pretty neat.
Yeah, and this is not too expensive. I think I bought the last one, but I think I only paid. Let me see what I paid. Oh, because I ordered the cable on it too. Okay, yeah. So it was only $80 for the adapter thing.
Oh,
so
not bad.
Yeah,
not
so
bad.
if that works, then I won't have to buy a whole bunch of the super expensive because the 28 volt batteries, they're like $500. Yeah. So I won't have to buy that. And let me see what the battery says. Well, it's funny because it says AC on the battery because it's not actually connected directly. But yeah, we'll see how this lasts just being on. So yeah, so I'm probably like $300, $300 to $400 more to get it to be what
not
I need.
Bad.
Yeah, and it's got an EF. It's got an EF mount. That's the kind that it comes with. Well, it's kind of cold in here, so this is nice. Nice heater. No, there's actually hot air blowing up through the top just after having it on for a second.
That's very encouraging. That's encouraging.
It's just like a heater. That's why it's using so much battery. And then see on the other side, which is pretty cool. This is the other side of the camera.
I can't see the other side.
I'm sorry.
We're on your Amazon page. So, right.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So this is So this is the normal side you would have the display on.
Right.
But on the other side, it actually also has a display.
I think that's awesome. Yeah. I think that's great.
It's funny because it's got a calculator or something on there now.
Yeah.
So
that really looks awesome. It looks like you could almost play Pong with it too. So that's pretty good.
So if your director gets bored or whatever, you could you play some just Pong in my
right? Or can I order my DoorDash lunch now using this thing? That's no great. Idea. Hey, I really can't wait to see the footage off that. I mean, like that is going to be very interesting.
Yeah. And it's actually not, I mean, it's pretty heavy, but it's not gonna switch over to the main.
Well, that's not your run and gun, right? That's not going to be your run and gun. That's going to sit on a tripod and just sit there for the entire job that you're hired for.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're gonna see. I'm gonna actually try to take it out just to see how it works, because I mean, I can hold this now with a lens. It's not super heavy.
Right.
It won't be like completely.
But it has no stabilization on it, right?
No, it doesn't.
So
it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this will with the lens would actually work on my gimbals right now. But I have and this is something we'll show you show in the future. I have a easy rig setup, so something like that might help.
Yeah, that would definitely work. What do you think that camera? Well, what do you think? Not only was it a great price point where it was pretty tough to say no at that point, but what is this camera going to replace that you used before, and when does it go on sale? Meaning, when are your old equipment going on sale? Is
I don't
it
think
this afternoon?
Really...
Is it what? Is it this evening? What do you think?
It'll be on eBay for $5 tonight.
Right, exactly.
No, this doesn't actually. This is actually a completely different class of camera.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not really replacing anything, because it's kind of so big and heavy that it's more just augmenting it for a different type of.
Well, what about your like your old C200s and stuff like that?
Oh, those are gone.
Those are long gone anyway.
Those are gone. Yeah, the only cameras I have right now are cameras that I'm actually using. I've sold everything that I could, just because it's just paperweights. Right. Okay. So you have gotten rid of a few things. Yeah. Okay. I mean, the oldest camera I have right now is the Sony A7R3, and that's more like a really high resolution still camera. Right. That's what I use that for. But yeah, all the other stuff is all pretty new. Like, oh, that's great. Within the last year. The C70 is the oldest one, but that one still is relevant. And you could see yourself still using it in certain situations. Oh yeah, definitely. Great. Yeah. Yeah. So this one's gonna, we'll test it out. I'm sure it's gonna be an amazing image. And the only thing is, it's probably not super low light camera, but still better than some. But at the same time, that's probably something you don't really want to use in low light, or shall we say, without controlled and well-directed lighting that you would do. Yeah, I think it would be great for nature stuff where you're outside during the day. Maybe up to magic hour. And then beyond that, no, you wouldn't be able to do it in natural light. Yeah. And then interviews and things like that. I think it has enough sensitivity for a normal interview lighting. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. Congratulations. What a nice get on that one. Thanks, what a way to beef up the system there. Good job. Yeah. Good job. Can't wait to see it. I hope that we'll be able to see some of that test footage on this channel sometime soon. Oh yeah, I'll be combining it with my security cams for an amazing. How do you think you're possibly going to edit this 12K footage? Is that something that is going to be a challenge? I'm going to try. I'm probably not going to shoot that much in 12K. I'll probably use 8K mostly. Yeah. And probably not at a super high rate. So I'm kind of thinking that we'll see. Yeah. In Resolve, I think it's going to be easy. Okay. But we'll see. Cool. Very good. Excellent. Yeah. Well, folks, just to let you know, out there in TechMove Wonderland, it's the Blackmagic Ursa Cine 12K LF. And you can get your very own right now for low price of $7,000. Yeah. So, break open that piggy bank and go get yours today. Available at all your favorite camera equipment stores. Keith, congratulations on that. I'm amazed by it, and thank you for the
unboxing video. That was quite exciting.
It was exciting for me
it was
too.
Good. I really liked it. You know what's really good though, too? You don't have to work out for the rest of the day. Just holding that thing, cradling it like a child has got to have your biceps just burned to crisp.
I'm just all pumped up now.
You're all jacked right now. So this is great. Okay, so that's the Ursa Cine 12K. Congratulations. Thank you very much. We're going to take a break and come back with more TechMove. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. All right, welcome back to TechMove. It's Rod Louie along with Keith Moreau. And again, our continuing coverage of NAB 2024 in 2025, which is absolutely amazing. Time has flown by. And this is what they call, ladies and gentlemen, the material in the vaults. That's what we have. We have stuff in the vaults, right, Keith? We have tons of stuff in the vaults. And it's just because we can't get it out quick enough. But anyway, here's another great one. Here's a great interview that we've got for you. It's a nice little surprise. There's a company called Hedge, and Hedge does media backups and a lot of other things. But we, and when I say we, it's really Keith, who secured the Hedge CEO, Paul Lombard. And actually, I guess, Keith, he's been a guest of ours before. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. He was on one of the TechMove's NAB maybe 6 to 7 to 8 years ago. It was a while back.
that we just released about maybe last year.
That was last year's show special.
Year's NAB special. Right. That was done back in the 1800s. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so you know what's nice is that Paul has been kind enough to rejoin us here at TechMove and speak with Keith again. And so we have that interview for you right now. So let's go back to NAB 2024 with the Hedge CEO, Paul Lombard, and our very own Keith Moreau right here on TechMove.
Sure, what's that?
Lombard. Lombard?
Yeah, nobody knows my last name.
Okay.
So it's a pull from Hedge.
Okay.
Typically works best.
Is Hedge the parent company?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all Hedge now.
Everything, yeah. So we moved so we started as, and that's, I'm going to put that in there, but we started as a one app company, and at some point got more apps, built more stuff, and then realized the vision was not one app, it was more than that. So that's why it's there.
Okay. That's cool. Okay, so we're here at NAB 2024. We're here right at the beginning of the show. We've got Paul from Hedge, and we actually interviewed Paul about 5 or 6 years ago in Amsterdam. And so we're now doing a revisit to see what's happened in the last 5 years. And I was recently reintroduced to the product Hedge because I wanted to, actually it's called Offshoot now, but I was reintroduced to Paul's products and his company because I was doing some massive copying of thousands of video files. And I wanted to make sure that the copying actually went well because I didn't really trust the Mac Finder to do it for me. So it was a really good application. It even told me when there was some, oh, we got some people going through. That's okay. No worries. Right. No worries. This happens in our interviews. I was actually copying, I was concatenating, and this is actually, you might get into this because I was using FFmpeg to concatenate really small, like 3 megabyte video security cam files into a really long continuous file because they're impossible to use when they're that short. Yeah. So I was literally copying tens of thousands of files, and I was having problems. I wasn't that confident that the Mac Finder was going to do it properly. So I revisited and used Hedge and Hedge Offshoot. I downloaded the new version. Like, where's Hedge? There's no more Hedge. But then I found out that actually Paul and his company had changed the product name from Hedge to Offshoot. And then I looked at their website, and I found out that there were all these other products that I knew nothing about. So obviously, Paul and his company has grown and matured into a variety of products. So, Paul, why don't you introduce yourself and talk about your company and your product line?
Sure. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Start us. Yeah, we talked last pre-COVID.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And it was completely different world for us, but for everyone. Back then we were 5 people. We had a flagship app called Hedge. And the thing about Hedge is, it's a Dutch saying, it's throwing something over the hedge. It's basically making it someone else's problem.
Okay.
And when I was on set, I saw so much negativity going around like throwing stuff over the hedge, like let us be the hedge, let's see if we can fix that. So there's more positive communication between people.
Okay.
But then, you have one app, then you try to do the same for LTO because that's what the market was asking for. Then we got a reporting app called FullCat. And then the pandemic hit. And everything changed.
Right.
And right at that time, we had a product called PostLab for editors on Final Cut Pro and Premiere to collaborate on remotely, which pre-COVID wasn't a big thing. Like it was a niche thing. And then obviously during COVID, that just went bonkers. And also everybody needed more ways to copy data because it couldn't be centralized anymore to someone.
Right.
So post-COVID, we were already growing fast, but back after COVID, we just outpaced everything, and we're now, it's now a few years later, we're now with 30 people. We have a range of 8 apps to cover the whole workflow, basically from offloading down to transcoding, down to collaboration, into review, and then archiving to LTO tape. And we have 8 apps covering that base.
Okay.
And then, and we actually took on stewardship of a 9th app last month. So Final Cut Pro Library Manager used to be a niche app only for Final Cut Pro users.
Okay.
And we took that on as a non-profit project. So that's our 9th app.
Okay.
And so that's it's been quite a ride.
Wow. So back then at 2017 IBC, I think it was, you were around in 2017, right?
Yep.
Okay. How many people were in your company and what was it like?
2017, that was our 2nd year. So 3 people.
Okay.
That was 3 people, and we had Offshoot and a push Hedge back then. Because we renamed it when we realized the whole vision of Hedge to throw something over the hedge applied to all our apps. So we decided, let's rename our flagship app and let's make Hedge the moniker for the whole company.
Okay.
So back then it was 3 people, and we had Hedge and we had Canister for LTO archiving and FullCat for camera reporting.
Okay.
So it was really focused on DITs, data handlers, media managers.
So, so what's your background as far as like, how did you get into this and why did you think it was necessary?
I'm a sound engineer. I mix bands. And we actually have around 6 sound engineers in the company, ex-sound engineers.
Oh, okay.
And there's a thing in live music, if the lighting department runs into technical issues, it's the sound department that can help out with the really technical stuff because it's much more technical.
Right.
Where lighting department's super creative in music. And I got into broadcast sound, and then I got asked to help out on productions, on broadcast productions.
Okay.
And there was this Dutch TV show that had 15 Canon 5Ds and a bunch of GoPros, and it needed to get all that footage into Avid overnight. And it wasn't just a regular shoot, but it was a 12-hour shoot, 5 days in a row, 1 episode a day. And it was a nightmare data handling wise. I was like, how are you even doing this? I wasn't there as a data handler, I was there for sound.
Right.
And I saw some guy frantically running around, like, I can imagine. It's like CF cards, 5 card swaps a day, times 15 cards.
Right.
It's madness. So I started helping him out with little scripts, like automatically rename the card, automatically mount the card, automatically copy it over. And then that evolved over the course of a few years. And when the show got canceled after a few years, as a few, I think 5, I was like, maybe this is useful for more people. And that's actually what became Hedge. Like, let's make it super simple to move camera cards to multiple backups. Because so many people at the time were doing 1 backup. Because doing 2 backups took twice as long.
Right.
So the killer feature for Hedge back in the day, the original feature was, how can I copy multiple cards into multiple backups while costing not more time than doing 1 card to 1 drive.
Right.
And that just democratized doing camera backups.
Okay. So these scripts that you were writing, you're a sound guy, so why were you writing computer scripts?
Yeah, because you're a nerd.
Are you a nerd?
Definitely. Everybody in this company is a nerd.
So what kind of scripts, like what language or what?
And that was AppleScript actually, because that's so
okay.
easy and accessible. Yeah. And but I also used to do, for instance, there's a film museum in Amsterdam, in the Eye Museum. I did the show control for their exhibition as well, and that's Arduinos.
Okay.
And it's if it's small, it's not super hard to learn, and really gets you into tinkering with stuff.
Right.
And then, but of course, you cannot give a script. You cannot sell a script to someone as a production piece of software, right? That doesn't work.
Right.
So that's why we decided let's build a proper Mac app to be able to handle this.
Okay.
And then we added Windows.
Okay.
And then we added LTO archiving, and then we did Windows for that this year as well.
Okay.
And it has organically grown basically into cover those 5 steps of workflow.
Wow. So when you first started, you were a sound guy, but you were kind of nerdy, so you started writing AppleScript because you probably used it for other things as well, like sound applications and things.
Yeah.
So did you eventually hire some programmers and people like that?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a product guy, turned out, in hindsight. I know about workflow, I know about UX. I could program, but I quickly decided that's not the best way to do this. So I started a company with Thomas, who was also a sound engineer, and with Roelof, who was also a sound engineer. And Roelof already retired from sound to become an engineer, a programmer.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And so that was a very logical choice. Like, how can we think outside the box? Like the biggest innovations always happen when it's someone that is not intimately familiar with the problem, but understands enough about it, and so they can think out of the box, and apply their knowledge. Because copying data is copying data. You don't like copying a camera card is not different from copying whatever you're copying. But you can make the experience better if you know what a camera card is, if you know about the structure, if you know the naming conventions, right? So we applied that knowledge, and then so we had a dedicated programmer, me. Then still the current product owner, Jay, joined us. Okay. And then we got to market within 6 months. And that's back in 2016. So it feels like a century ago.
Okay. So we're probably going to do some B-roll to capture some of the actual operations of things, but maybe you can narrate the workflow.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So when people talk about workflow, it's such a big concept, right? And it's hard to, like, what is your workflow? I don't know what my which part of the workflow. So we break it up in 5 steps. There is offload and ingest. It's ingest is more a broadcast thing. Offloading is I'm all set, I need to copy camera cards, right? So that's Offshoot. That's our flagship apps.
Okay.
Then when you shoot RAW, you need to create proxies. So for that we have Edit Ready. And Edit Ready is not just a transcoder like compressor or FFmpeg, but it's a transcoder that actually has built-in color science. So it always applies the color conversions, log conversions, LUTs, the way the original vendor wanted it to be. Okay. So you can, for instance, mix if let's say you have an Arri on the shoot and a Blackmagic camera, like which log are you going to choose? Right. So with us, it doesn't matter. We just make sure it becomes the same thing. You can say, I want to go for Arri. Then we'll make sure that Blackmagic gets converted to that color science as well. And then you move on. Then basically it becomes collaboration.
Just one pause. By the way, thank you very much, guys, for your security work. Can you pan to our security team here? Our traffic redirectors. Edit Ready. So I know the guys that founded that. Yeah. They sold their product to you?
No, they joined us. There was also...
okay.
So Hedge nowadays is a bit of a mix of original products and acquired products. Okay. And I don't really like the word acquired because it's more about... Like we started out as a small team, and there's a lot of companies like us around, right? There's a lot of people that have an idea, they solve an idea, but they don't really know how to build a company. And at some point they realize they need that to be able to sustain a living, right? And especially when COVID hit, a lot of companies were like, this is going to be pretty hard. Yeah. And we were talking to Mike and Colin for years already because we really liked what they were doing, and that was 2 ways. So then Mike said, guys, let's just join up. And we've done the same with Mimic from Indie Store. We've done the same with Fullcat from Full Color. So that's sort of become it's just join the team, let's work together, let's make the products better. But yeah, Edit Ready and Scopebox have been around way longer than Hedge originally has.
I use that a ton. Yeah. So that's awesome. So it's all under the Hedge kind of company?
Yeah, exactly. And it's all integrated, so you can copy camera cards and automatically kick off a transcoding and send them to PostLab for collaboration, send them to tape with canister.
Wow, okay. Okay, sorry to interrupt you. So now we'll be on the Edit Ready
Yeah, so that's
phase.
that's transcoding and preparing mostly. You want to
Okay.
add metadata, you want to see the metadata, you want to create a nice clip report with full CAT, so you can send a PDF to your director.
Okay.
So they like looking at stuff for a good reason, right? Like make your shots shine. And when that's all done, it comes to the creative bit. The editing, the assistant editor, the colorist, motion designers.
Right.
That's all PostLab. So with PostLab, we have a workflow platform where it allows you to add project files, has version control, and automatically share those with other people. So you don't need a Dropbox. You don't need to send emails with zipped files.
Okay.
It just lives in there.
Okay.
And you, because it's version managed, you don't screw up while I am working on a project. It's locked for you. You can still open it, but your changes don't conflict with my changes. And that's super useful if you're working remote or in the same building or close or often together.
Okay.
And then when that's all done, you need a review stage, right? So either if you use a cloud review, like Framio, awesome, but a lot of review is still about quality of project. So that's where we have Scopebox, it's video scopes.
Okay.
A lot of colorists use it, a lot of DATs use it. And like I mentioned, FullCAD is used as well. So we can automatically create reports, really nice PDF and HTML reports of all your footage, and you can just flick through it, see your circle takes, see the metadata. Super useful in the edit.
That's pretty cool.
And then all the way at the end of the spectrum, when you're done, you still need to archive all that stuff. And you can either archive to the cloud, that's definitely done a lot. But when you have a lot of terabytes, like let's say you produce a terabyte a week, that's a lot of stuff to put in the cloud.
Yeah.
So LTO is a super viable alternative for that. And it's a bit of a steep price point to get in. You need 5K, 6K for the machine.
Yeah.
But after that, it's dirt cheap to get LTO, and the shelf life is amazing.
Right.
So that's what we did with Canister. We made it super simple to use something that's super hard. It's actually, working with LTO, you needed an IT degree for it.
Right.
We really made that super, super simple, even simpler than Offshoot is.
Okay.
And then, so that's the spectrum.
Wow. That's amazing. Some of these other, like Scopebox and the others, those were also separate companies, right? And
They used to be separate companies, yeah. Just like Mimic, that's a good example as well. Indie Store out of the UK, they are the inventors of third-party bin locking.
Okay.
And
What is that?
so, if you work in Final Cut Pro or in or in Premiere Pro, you can use PostLab to work together. But Avid, the original NLE, invented bin locking to make it possible to collaborate with Avid editors.
Okay.
And for that, you need bin locking. And within Avid, you need to buy a Nexus to be able to do that. And Indie Store found a way to do it without needing the hardware.
Okay.
And Indie Store joined us 1.5 years ago. And we've been adding new features to it to make it possible to not just do that locally, but also be able to work with Avid, collaborate with Avid remotely with editors. So for instance, Emily in Paris was completely shot in Paris. It was edited in LA and New York. And all those teams were on the same Avid. And they use cloud storage to share their media. And they use Mimic to lock all the locations so they could, so it was as if they were in one building.
Wow.
So Mimic is super focused on just Avid.
Okay.
While PostLab is everything but Avid.
Got it. Okay. Anything else you want to add to this conversation?
We'd love to hear about workflow problems.
Okay.
Like we're a bit different company than other companies. Most companies have like 80% sales, etc., and then 20% or maybe 30% engineering. We are more than half engineering, 60, 70%.
Okay.
And that's just because we love working on problems. So we'd love to hear about problems.
Okay.
Just send us an email, tell us what your biggest problem is, and then let us think along. Maybe it's not our products that you need, maybe it's something else. We'll still help you out. Like we're not system integrators, but we love hearing about what the actual problem is. Because all our apps are very user-driven. We always build the features that people need and ask for, instead of building the pipe dream that's still 10 years out.
Good. I think that's a good conclusion. And we'll go over and copy some workflow stuff. Thanks so much, Paul. Really
Thanks for
nice
having
seeing
me.
you again.
It's a pleasure.
After 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
It's
let's
amazing.
not do it in another 5 years.
Well, what's amazing is that this vision he's creating an empire.
Wow.
An empire by gathering all these amazing different softwares and putting into one workflow. And it'll be really interesting to see how that progresses in the future. We'll come back in maybe a couple of years.
That would be
You'll
fun.
have like 200 people.
Let's do that. No. That's not going to happen. No.
You never know.
30 for me is already hard
That's already-
to handle. Really.
Are you like the man?
I built this company if I really break it down, I built this company to be around my friends all the time.
Okay.
So if you're at 30, you still know everybody, you still know everybody's partners,
Right.
kids' names,
Right.
you know their lives.
Right.
When it's more than 50 or 100, that's no longer possible. And
Yeah.
for me, the biggest reason to start this company was an improvement in quality of life with nice problems to solve. And it's not about getting rich at all. Nobody's getting rich with Hatch. Everybody in the company is a shareholder.
Yeah.
And well, it's the acquisition of Arctic is testament to that. It's a non-profit project. All the money it makes goes back to the original founders because they couldn't make a living of it, or is spent on supporting and developing the app. But we never make profit. We will never make a profit.
Right.
That's just because we think it's important to support the community. And that's why we started doing it. So
That's
it's
great.
not going to be 200 people for sure.
Okay.
You can quote me on that.
Okay. We'll see. We'll come back and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Anyway, really nice seeing you.
It's a pleasure.
Have a good day. Keith Monroe signing off for TechMove.
All right, welcome back to TechMove, and it's Rod Louie and Keith Moreau here. And Keith, you have some interesting things that we'd like to kind of go over regarding our friends over at DJI. And I think specifically you have some, let me take a look, the Focus Pro and the RS4 Pro gimbal.
Right.
A couple of products that have really sparked your interest. Is that correct? I mean, they might be from last year, but they're still relevant today. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. The RS4 is just a slightly more advanced version of the RS3 Pro, and it's better. I actually did not get one of those, but it turns out I actually did get one of the new Focus Pros. So I had the original Focus LiDAR from DJI, and I liked it a lot. But I decided, okay, I'm just going to get the next model of that. And so I sold my old Focus Pro and got these. It has the motors that come with it are stronger. It has a lot more lenses you can program in, and some other advantages. So I just decided to kind of upgrade. And so it's just kind of interesting that that item that I interviewed Jorge about was something I wound up eventually getting.
Fantastic. And so the products you have, which one do you have now? Which one?
I have the Focus Pro.
The Focus Pro. Okay. And the RS4 gimbal is something that you're looking into. Is it something you have interest in?
I have interest in it. I have the RS3 Pro, which is very similar. In fact, all the interfaces and the power grips and everything are the same. It's just a little bit more advanced than the one I have, but I decided to hold on to my RS3 Pro for a while because I have all these accessories that work fine with it. And it's got a pretty good load. Yeah.
That's great. Okay. Yeah. So, folks, before we roll this interview, we just want to let you know that this is from NAB 2024. So this is from last year. Keith is about to embark on the 2025 NAB, and that's very short from here. We're going to be doing that very soon, representing TechMove. And so we want to at least get this out before, before 2025 NAB comes out. So let's get to it. Let's go ahead and let's roll this tape. And this is our very fine representative from DJI. His name is Jorge Cruz. And this is Jorge along with our very own man in the streets, Keith Moreau. And again, this is from 2024 NAB right here on TechMove.
Hi, we're here with George Cruz. I was going to say TechMove, that's me.
I think I just got hired.
Hi, this is Keith Moreau here with George Cruz of DJI. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. We're going to start with some of the gimbals and we're going to go on to some other things. George.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is actually our brand new offering. Now, we've been doing focus we used to have a 3-channel follow focus. Now we've updated this and it's called the Focus Pro.
Okay.
And the Focus Pro is blowing people out of the water right now.
Okay.
So we took the technology we were using in the RS3 Pro, where we can use LiDAR to add autofocus and tracking to manual lenses and cinema lenses. And now we've removed having to use the gimbal. So now you can add it on, you see we've got it on an FX3 here with a manual lens. we've updated the LiDAR. This is our LiDAR Pro. So we're going from 42,000 points of phase detection to 70,000 points of phase detection.
Okay.
So what that means is more accuracy, better tracking, and in low light and at a distance, we're going to be able to work better.
Okay.
So what do I mean by a distance? We're going from 10 meters of range with the LiDAR that we have for the RS3 Pro, and with the LiDAR Pro, we can go up to 20 meters of range.
Wow. So if you had a telephoto lens on there, you could actually really focus within a certain very close range?
Yeah, so you can actually calibrate it. You can save 15 lens profiles, but tell the LiDAR, I want to focus between here and there.
Okay.
So you can actually give it your points where you want it to focus.
Okay.
And then it'll automatically do so afterwards. If you look at it here, it's actually, the handle is a lot like our gimbals, the RS.
And it always comes with a handle?
We have two different offerings,
Oh, okay.
and we can show you those.
Okay.
But comes with the handle.
Okay.
You connect your LiDAR. This is what's going to power the LiDAR and the focus motor.
Okay.
And so you can pull focus, and you'll notice as I'm pulling focus manually, you'll see the focus motor spinning. And you know, that's not new. The focus motor isn't new, but we have updated it to have more torque.
Okay.
So it's going to work with those big cinema lenses, right? So here I'm pulling focus manually, but if I click the trigger button, I can actually lock onto a subject.
Okay.
And so now, no matter where I go, that's who I'm going to focus on.
Okay.
Very similar to what we're used to with autofocus lenses. However, this is going to work in a variety of lightings, especially in low light, because we're using the lasers from the LiDAR to focus. And it's really what we're doing is measuring distance.
Yeah.
We're not trying to focus on a face. But we do look for faces, and the algorithm is going to do either a general shape or a face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
So,
great.
Love this. And right now we're seeing this application on, a small camera like an FX3. But you can take this and you can mount it on a full-on cinema camera like an ARRI. So you're getting the benefits of things like the Ronin 4D, the RS4 Pro right in your hands, and just you're removing that intermediary.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Come on, take it for a spin.
I like this part of it.
Yeah,
This is like so I have the RS3 Pro
Yeah.
and I have this.
exactly.
And I think I was able to get it to work off of the RS3
Well,
Pro, but it was hard.
We later released the bridge that would allow you to disconnect it from
Right,
there, but
right.
now this is more a complete solution.
Yeah. And this is higher performance.
Yes, that too.
What's the pricing on this?
Believe that. Oh, I apologize. I didn't have it off the top of my head.
That's okay.
You know pricing on
we
the.
can edit this out.
So sorry, I've got it here.
That's okay.
So,
'Cause I think I spent like $600 or $700 just for this piece.
so there's the creator combo that's $999.
Okay.
And then there's the all-in-one combo that's $1,849.
Okay.
So that means you'll get the grip, and then we've got a few other pieces that I'll show you in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is really cool. I think I
Yeah.
might have to get this.
I think everybody wants to get this. Like, honestly, like RS4, RS4 Pro, they're really like, we're refining the experience for gimbals and really defining what a gimbal should be able to do. But this is just such a unique offering that by far the best LiDAR available on the market right now.
I got a question for you. If I just wanted to get this piece and I just wanted to use my RS4 Pro, would I be able to have this experience?
Yeah, because this
Okay.
will actually, you'll get the video signal from the grip for your RS4 Pro.
Okay, so this is optional, really.
Correct. Well,
Okay.
this is what's interfacing the LiDAR and the motor.
Okay.
When you have the RS4 Pro, that becomes the interface.
Okay, got it. Cool. Thanks, George.
Yeah,
So I guess we're done with this
We're done with
segment.
this one, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Let me
Nice.
go put this back and grab something else.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the traffic control. It's really nice of you.
This is part 2 of the Focus Pro.
Part 2 of the Focus Pro. We've got something here. We're not sure what it is. It has a bunch of antennas and...
Yeah. So we're rolling?
Yes.
Cool. So this is part 2 of our Focus Pro.
Okay.
You asked me, when you purchase the larger combo, the 1849, what does it come with? Doesn't come with this monitor, but we have it paired with the monitor to show what we can do.
Okay.
Comes with this hand unit though.
Okay.
And so this is a 3-channel hand unit. I can actually pull focus on here.
Oh, wow.
I can adjust my iris or my aperture,
I like that.
and then I can also zoom.
Okay. So, the iris and aperture, is that just, what is that actually controlling?
This is actually another motor. 3 motors.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's
each
small.
motor is going to be individually controlled there.
Oh, that's really good.
We're using this on our really long lens that I wouldn't want to carry.
Okay.
So we paired this up with our DJI transmission so you could see this. And this is like, you know, if you're a professional and you had an AC that is pulling focus, this is what they're looking at.
Okay.
You know, usually people are using a bigger monitor or whatever, but this is like, this would be a solution for them.
Okay. And really, this is just right now. This is just acting as a monitor.
Correct.
Okay.
This is just a monitor receiving the signal from the camera over there, but this is also connected to that 4D over there, Ronin 4D over there.
Okay. And what's the range of this setup?
You're going to do our transmission range, which is 20,000 feet.
Okay.
I'll check that in a minute.
That's great.
Yeah. Cool. So that's part 2.
give it
So
a
if you
try.
get, for 1,849, you get the hand grip that we saw, you get the focus motor, you get the LiDAR Pro, and you get this.
That's actually not bad.
No. For what you can do with it,
Yeah.
especially for small teams of creators or small studios, you can do so much with this, and you don't have to have a huge group presence at the front of the room if you're doing like talking heads or weddings,
Yeah.
or even just any corporate presentation. Somebody could be pulling focus at a video village or separate from your operator.
So, if I didn't want the transmission, I could use a different type of video transmitter to monitor, like the one that comes with the Pro, the DJI Pro 4. There's a digital transmitter with that, or a video
Yeah, so
transmitter.
this is the high bright monitor receiver for that transmitter.
Okay.
You can use your own video transmission.
Okay.
This is just what we have here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe when you bring out the DJI RS4 Pro, we can discuss that part of it. Okay.
Sure.
Great.
Let me go get that.
Okay, thanks.
Feels like a variety show.
It's gonna go get another piece of gear. We got George back for the part. We're running out of parts. Maybe 2, part 3. There might be more. Traffic control here at the DJI booth.
This is the RS4 Pro section.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll call it that. We'll just name it by the
We'll
product.
just name it by the product. Go for it.
All right. So, you know, we're back with a brand new RS4 Pro and an RS4. Talking about the RS4 Pro, this is our expansion platform, right? Besides it being our largest payload, 10-pound payload that you can put on here, 4.5 kilos, and the largest arms. So the reason that the arms are long is from the RS3 Pro. If you remember this, we extended it with folded carbon fiber to be able to fit cameras like this. This is the Red Dragon here, but you can do a Blackmagic 6K. We have one set up with an FX6 over there. Key to being able to do that is having the space to move these cameras around. One thing is for it to balance once. Another thing is to give you the full range of motion when you're actually shooting.
Right.
You'll notice we have a lot of counterweight here to be able to accomplish what we have to balance this not small camera.
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
So on the RS4 Pro, there's a few things. First, you might notice we've got this extra long battery here. This is one of my favorite things. This is a BG70. This is our extended battery. It's going to give us 28 hours of runtime, depending on how you're using it. You could also power your camera through here if you wanted to. You might just have to use like a D-tap to be able to get that power. Beyond that, we've actually, although the payload remains the same as the RS3 Pro, we have actually increased the height where you can balance something on the tilt axis, and that is specifically because we knew that once we started rigging something out like this, it would get very top heavy and you might want a taller setup. So we want to give you the depth and the range of motion to be able to do this. We can also do multiple focus motors, kind of like I showed you on the Focus Pro, where we had 3 focus motors. Here we can do 2 focus motors that would be connected into the gimbal. And so then you could pull focus and you could pull zoom as well, or if you want to switch over to aperture based on what you want to do. Because more than likely you probably have a prime lens, depends on what you want to do, right?
Right.
We've also coated our motors in Teflon, so when you're balancing your camera, if you have your load on there already, it's kind of hard to slide it over and make that micro adjustment to get the perfect balance.
Yes.
So we coated those areas with Teflon so it would be easier to slide and adjust, and those micro adjustments just get that much easier. And like, that's what I told you, we're really refining as well as defining what a gimbal should be able to do.
That's awesome. One of the things that I have pretty much all your gimbals, including the original Ronin. And one of the things I liked about those original ones, they had like little thumb wheel that you can kind of increment.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you kind of got rid of that for the later ones. I'm wondering if you're ever going to go back to that.
Well, there's some of them, we kept them where they're used the most, right? Like, so on the plate here in the front, that's where we have it.
Yeah.
And so we have that there where we think people are using it best.
Right.
Right? Actually, speaking of that plate, the other thing that we can do, and this mounting plate is actually the same one as we're using in the RS4, which we have back here. But we no longer have to, there it is. We no longer need a second plate to be able to mount vertically.
Oh, okay.
So this is the same plate you use for horizontal or landscape is the same one you're gonna use for vertical or portrait.
Okay.
So
That's great.
this is another RS4 Pro. It's very easy to do. You slide this down, you release it from, there it is. And so this same plate, and I've loved the RS3 Mini for a long time because I can shoot vertical natively. It's very easy and I can keep it with me. But there have been times where I've gone on location, I brought it with me just because I didn't know if I was going to need a gimbal, and I forgot the additional plate. Either I was stuck shooting vertical or I was stuck shooting landscape. So once I take this, release it here, and boom. Oh, it's this one. There we go. Come on, buddy, don't make me look bad now.
We can edit this out.
There we go. We got
past the section.
So once I release that, then I'm able to mount it just like you see over here.
Yeah.
So same plate, it's gonna mount in right here.
Okay.
And now I've got the landscape.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So are you a cinematographer? Like personally? Or what's your...
So I do freelance production in South Florida.
Okay.
As a drone pilot and producer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're a cinematographer, kind of.
Look, I like to say I do the thing, but I don't like to say I call myself that. Like, I snowboard, but I don't call myself a snowboarder because what I do, I don't consider any good at all. But yeah, you could say that.
Okay. So do you think that when you shoot vertically, it's cinematography?
So
it's kind of a joke, but
you know what it is? Those are the deliverables I'm being asked for more and more every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Like final? Or do you have like a...
Well, it'll be multiple deliverables, right?
Yeah.
So some of them will be landscape, some of them will be vertical, and like they need the full res because stories are getting more high resolution.
Right.
Stories are getting watched more and more every day.
Right.
I think that there was a resistance in the industry to shoot it, and before we were like, oh, just put some guides on there, overshoot, and crop it in post.
Yeah.
But a lot of my clients were like, I just want the vertical.
Right. That's all they want.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. So I think this is a big deal for people, being that speed, even though I fumbled with it there for a second, I think that the amount of time that it takes to go from one to the other, yes, you'll have to rebalance just a little bit because you're shifting the center of balance.
Yeah.
But it's time on set is priceless. And so we want to make sure that our creators are able to go from one shot to the other, from one scene to the other, one customer to the other as quickly as possible. So that's the RS4 Pro.
Okay.
It's our expansion platform. As you can see here, we're able to put our DJI video transmission on here. We've got the LiDAR Pro. We're able to pull focus. We can do that automatically or we can do that manually. And then we have it paired with the video transmission, the high bright monitor. So carrying over what we've learned from the Ronin 4D, from the Inspire 3, from the RS3 Pro, now I've got gimbal control. I can pull focus. I've got the LiDAR guiding me as to where to focus. This is everything, man.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I actually have a lot of the Tilta stuff.
Yeah.
I have the float and all that, and you have the remote controls and all the ring and everything they have.
Yeah.
Are they still compatible with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's good to know.
we want to make sure customers are able to use the accessories that they want. We can't make everything.
Yeah.
We're making the essential parts, and then you should be able to use the accessories that you want to purchase.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Anything else you want to add to this?
I got to talk about the BG70 battery. It is honestly like, it looks ridiculously large, but it's also so comfortable to hold.
Okay.
It's going to give you all-day battery if you're on multiple shoots or a long-day shoot.
Yeah.
This is the one to go with, and it's going to be cross-compatible between the RS4 Pro as well as the RS4 as well as the RS3 Pro.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Can I pick it up?
Sure. Let me hand this over to you. 2 hands is best.
Okay.
Wherever you prefer.
Whoa.
And let's reset that gimbal for you.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna have to do some weights here, some weight training. I would say if I were doing this, I would put it on the ring.
Yeah. So, and that's what I try to tell people. You know, if you're doing these large setups, yes, you could handhold it, but you want to put it, it's more than likely you're going to put this on another accessory.
Yeah.
Whether it's a ring, a cable cam, a jib, a car cam, any of those. If you want to do anything like that, you want the RS4 Pro.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd put it on a ring, and I'd probably put it on my easy rig.
Yep, your easy rig, your steady cam, whatever that might be that you prefer.
But,
help you out there?
Yeah. That's, what is that, like 20 pounds?
I
It's
think
up there.
we're somewhere around there. I think from the gimbal up, we're still less than 10 pounds. Probably around 10 pounds, but then with everything else, probably closer to 12.
Yeah.
12, 15. But because it's so top heavy, it feels very heavy.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Basically like carrying Thor's Mjolnir.
It is.
So that's the RS4 Pro. This is also the RS4 Pro. Let's talk about the RS4. RS4 is going to get that same Teflon coating that we've put in the RS4 Pro. It's going to be compatible with the new battery as well. We gave it a more height at the top, but my favorite thing about RS4, we've had these NATO mounts on the side for a while where you could put your briefcase handle.
Yeah.
This is a cold mount, right? This analog, I just need to hold on to it.
Right.
Well, now we've actually got copper inputs on here, so you're actually able to put something that's going to connect to your gimbal and expand what you could do with your RS4.
Okay.
You know, it's not like the RS4 Pro where I could disconnect it and put it on, you know, anything else like a jib or a car mount, but I am going to be able to, like, maybe I want a second handle so I could pull focus or something like that because I want to hold it out further.
Right.
Or maybe whatever else. Maybe I want an Atmos. Maybe I want something else out there. Now it's going to be able to connect.
Okay.
And truly, you know, one of the things that I suffered with the most when I was on my APS-C camera was, even though it was a very light camera, the twist, it would actually, sometimes the weight would shift and it would twist off of here, and so it wouldn't be perfectly balanced. We put an anti-twist design onto the mounting plate, so that's not going to happen to anyone anymore.
Oh, okay.
And so when you balance it, it's going to stay balanced.
That's great. That's a great idea.
And you can find that both on the RS4 and the RS4 Pro.
Oh, that's a really good idea. Perfect.
All right.
And so the RS, I don't have this one, but is the battery built in? Is that...
the battery is removable.
Oh, okay. So you could put this on potentially put it on a different platform. You don't have to have the handle there.
You could, but it's not designed precisely for that. You could get power from somewhere else, except it's not designed to be the expansion platform that RS4 is.
Okay, got it.
So you won't be able to control it and everything else that you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
This has been great, George. Really, anything else you want to show me that's really cool?
You know, this is everything that's been released. We've also got our Avata 2 over there at the fly cage that I'd invite you to go over there and fly.
Yeah.
We have an upcoming product called DJI Power, which is our power station.
Okay.
Which we have in use over here by our car and behind me as well. So we got a 1,000 watt hour power station, which is in a quick charge via USB-C. It's great when you're out in the field, you know, flying a lot of drones or using a lot of handles for your gimbals. And then we have a 500 watt hour as well for a smaller solution.
Wow. Sounds great.
So stay tuned for that one.
Okay. Well, thanks so much.
Hey,
really appreciate
pleasure,
all
dude.
your help here and all the amazing information here.
Absolutely. Take care.
Keith Rose signing off for TechMove.
All right, that's DJI's Jorge Cruz along with Keith Moreau here on TechMove. Keith, thank you very much for that one. That was really good. Here's a big question I have, you know, and now that we're like pretty much a year removed from the interview, you know, I mean, that's how things happen here at TechMove. But tell me this, the RS4 Pro gimbal, has it convinced you at all to maybe upgrade to the RS4? Or are you just what you heard, maybe what you've seen since that time? The RS3 is still a great unit.
For me, the RS3 is fine for now. I'm happy with it. It interfaces with all this extra gear that I have right now, which I think the RS4 would as well. But I don't unless it can't hold my newest camera. Probably can't. I don't think many gimbals will actually hold it. But
I don't think your winch can hold your latest camera.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
but we'll get to that in a little bit. So
here's what I'm using for my latest camera.
Now that's what we call, folks, a steady shot. That's what we call. Yes, that's great. All
and
right.
the Focus Pro, though, I kind of knew all about it as well when the guy was describing it to me. The only thing that it didn't get was the remote kind of handle with. So there's essentially two handles you can get. One is the one that you have to get. Yeah. And it has a little display on it, and it's the one that you usually have with your camera. Then there's another handle that can be taken remote by your assistant, AC or something like that, first or second AC, that can actually do the focus pulling with it. And they can just have that wirelessly anywhere they want. And that will control the focusing that the little handle works with. So I haven't gotten that yet because it's like $800 more or something. Yeah. So, and it's not something that I immediately need, but it is something maybe that I'll get in the future. We'll see.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I mean, that's a good evaluation, right? I mean, it's something that you have, and if it hasn't built that much upon the last version, maybe it's just not right to upgrade at this particular point.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Fantastic. All right. Again, thanks to Jorge Cruz over at DJI. Thanks to Keith Moreau over here at TechMove. Let's reset, and we'll come back with another interview of the 2025 revisiting NAB 2024. This is incredible. What a great state of things that we got going on here. So we'll be right back with more on TechMove. Hey, welcome back to TechMove. Keith, it's been like 3 hours of this podcast, this video podcast, this show. I am exhausted. I don't know about you, but I am exhausted, and I know you are because of all the editing that you've had to do.
This is like the Dune 2 of podcasts.
I appreciate everything that you did to kind of get this thing together, and also all of our technical difficulties to try and get video TechMove going. Ran into our fair share of issues, and still am doing so. Yeah. I got a couple things on my end that I need to figure out, but it's been fun. It's been really exciting. It's been great to be back with you again, Keith. I really have really enjoyed it.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay, folks. So we're going to wrap it up here, but we want to thank you very much for joining us here at TechMove and giving us a lot of grace and a lot of patience for being able to spit out these episodes once every decade. And we're very happy that you're still with us and still riding the TechMove train. We want to also share with you that you can take a look at how to get hold of us. If you want to ask us any questions or anything, you can go to our website, which is techmovepodcast.com. And you'll be able to find contact information there for Keith, for myself. If you have kind things to say, we appreciate that. If you do not have kind things to say, then we'll refer you to other websites in the meantime. But Keith, do you have any parting words before we kind of close this up and take a long nap? What do you think?
Other than it's great to be back. It's actually great to visit with you because these podcasts are not just for the public; they're for us to communicate as friends. And so that's kind of the best part of it. So I really
it is great. It is great, and it's great to find out what we're all doing in the meantime in our lives, but also take the spin of cool tech that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So, actually, speaking about cool tech, hang on one moment. Let me do a show and tell myself. Hang on.
Oh yeah. Ooh, it's zooming in on your car tire.
Okay.
Oh, now it's zooming back.
Okay. You might have to edit that part.
It's okay. Ooh.
So Rod Louie has decided to get back into the game of rechargeable batteries. This is my newest thing here that I just got. Keith, you remember ages ago. I mean, rechargeable batteries have been around forever, right?
Yeah.
I hated them.
Really?
I used to think that they were awful. They never held a very long charge. I said, forget it. I'm just going to spend money on AA's, AAA's at Costco and just keep going with that. Now, the technology is probably a little bit better. I decided to take the plunge and see what's going on. Do you have any thoughts on that kind of thing?
Oh, well, I've been a rechargeable battery nut for forever.
Okay.
Like 10, 15 years. Ever since.
And is it getting better? Has it gotten better over the years, or is it about the same?
It might be getting a little bit better. I think they're getting a little bit cheaper.
Yes,
and
this is very true.
Probably more environmentally friendly, because you're not disposing of heavy metals and stuff.
Right.
So as far as if I wanted I actually I put them in some of the things that require batteries. Not too many. Most of the things now are rechargeable, the film gear, but even in the old days, I would put those into mics and stuff that needed batteries. So so they're good.
I'm going to be using it for a gig that I'm going to do. I'm going to do an event gig and do photography. Oh, okay. And so I think it'll be perfect for like a flash. I think it'll be perfect for that. The neat thing about that box that I just showed you, it's a whole set of things. They give you 8 AA's, 8 AAA's, plus the one charger handles both. And so it's really nice. So and what, $20, $22, something like that.
And I noticed the little USB ports on there too, just in case.
Yes, exactly.
The device that you're trying to put the batteries in can have it. You really need it.
That's right. So that's my show and tell, ladies and gentlemen. I always bring the heat with me whenever I participate in these podcasts. But Keith, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much for spending the time. Everyone out there, we want to thank you for hanging out with us. And we'll do it again very shortly. So and then remember, NAB 2025 coming in a few days. So expect the next TechMove episode to kind of share what we saw. I don't know, by Christmas. I don't know. You'll see it by Christmas time.
By Christmas.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks a lot. I'm Rod Louie. That's Keith Moreau. Thank you very much for joining us, and we really greatly appreciate you being here with us. Thanks a lot for joining us here on TechMove. We'll see you later.